Rightio, guys. 5 minutes to go before we kick off our next batch of pitches. So if you are outside, we're going to ask you to start finishing up your lunch, please. We hope you enjoyed that. But it is time to make your way inside, please, especially our judges. If our judges can start heading towards the tables, we're going to start the pitching session in about 5 minutes' time. Only a couple of minutes to go, guys, before we kick off the pitch session. So if you are outside, we're going to ask you to please start making your way into the main conference venue. Just a note to our judges, if our judges for the first pitch session can take up their positions as well as everyone who's involved in the pitches, if they can head to the side of the stage. Otherwise, the rest of you, please finish up your lunch, finish up your desserts, make your way into the main conference venue soon. We are kicking off in about a minute or two.
There he is. My big voice. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it 1,000 times today. But if you can see me, if you can hear me, you're in the right room. If you can hear me, but you can't see me, why don't you come mosey on over so you can take a good look at the center stage. We've got a new addition. I'm not going to give away the surprise yet because I don't actually know what the surprise is, but it's there, ready and waiting. The stage is set. The startups are lining up. The jury's in place. This technical crew is ready. The photographer's coming by and he's like, that guy looks like a picture I need to take. See that? Flash bulbs are going off. No, he's taking a picture of the jury. That's fine too. They're worth it. All right, how are we feeling out there? Do we have a nice lunch? We're still digesting, I guess. Is that it? How many of you had that lasagna? Lasagna was good, right? Was
Everyone who didn't answer had the lasagna. The people who answered have the energy to.
Yeah.
But if you had the lasagna, it's tough times. I hope you didn't have the lasagna and having to pitch. There's very little energy left after that lasagna.
To be honest, I'd risk it.
Yes, so would I.
I'd risk it. It was so delicious.
I did. So did you. Guys, we are halfway through day number 2 over here at the summit. We've got our final pitch session, which takes place now. After that, an awesome discussion about bridging the gap, building bridges between ecosystems. That is something you do not want to miss. And then some more entertainment, and then we find out who our winners are of these pitches.
Can we tell them now?
No, we may not tell them now.
But I really want. I
know you do.
I love surprises. I just don't like the anticipation. That's what it is. Is there a way you could just whisper it in my ear?
No. No ways.
God, it's killing me. Don't you want to know too? Yeah, she wants to know. At least do it for her. You don't have to do it for me.
My lips are sealed. My lips are sealed.
Jeez.
2 minutes to go, guys. 2 minutes to go, and then we kick off the pitch sessions over here.
Not the winner.
So I hope I see our Judy is standing by. Welcome, guys. Nice to have you here. I hope everyone who's doing the pitches are on the side of the stage. If not, please make your way there. And if you are outside, one more time, it's time to make your way inside so that we can get this show on the road.
Yes, there are a lot of seats that need some happy faces in them. So I see people trickling in. Don't be afraid. Come on down. I'm loud, but I'm harmless. I promise.
He does not
take
bite.
a seat next to your neighbor. Get to know each other. Come on down. Mosey on in.
I've never seen someone mosey before.
Really?
No, I've
I
never.
mosey all the time.
Do you?
You know, it's sort of like one of these sort of things. And actually, in these sort of events, it's sort of one of these. You come in the room and you're like, that's moseying.
Is that moseying? I thought it was
moseying.
a much slower
That's
pace.
moseying. Oh, yeah.
And then something new today. On that note, mosey on through to the room, guys. We are about to kick off. I shall hand over to my esteemed colleague. Sir, over to you.
I'm super excited. All right, so just in case you don't know the name of the game, pitch, battle, sessions, juries, startups. We're going to have 3 minutes on the clock, if I'm not mistaken. 2 minutes of question and answer. Guillaume is nodding his head in a very assured, calm, confident way. So I'm assured, confident, and comfortable now. We're feeling good. How are you guys feeling? All right, I got some energy over here. How are we feeling over here? All right, here, let's try this. People on this side of the room, give me a nice applause and everything. All right, not bad. That's pretty good. Everybody over here, give me some applause and everything. All right, you can do a little bit better. They were stronger. There it is. And now this side. There it is. And all together. That's not bad. It's the first time I ever got to do almost like a composer sort of conductor sort of vibe. I kind of like it. I'm going to buy myself a wand. All right, you guys ready for the pitches? Oh, what happened? Oh, we were so close. All right, let's bring first guy up. You ready? You got a microphone? You got a clicker? We need a microphone. Can I get a microphone from the stage crew? I love it. I'm going to meet you halfway, bud. Cheers. Thank you. Check. Oh, look at that. Now I can do. All right, I'll leave you alone. Come on up, bud. I was going. I get carried away sometimes. All right. Hit us, bud. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yaya. I'm the founder and CEO of Zente. It's a telehealth startup based out of Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. We've got a service that connects patients in Africa with doctors around the world via a mobile app. So imagine you live in a big city and have a minor health issue. You still have to spend hours in traffic and in a hospital waiting room just to spend 5 minutes with a doctor. Imagine also you're in a small city, in a rural area, and you have a heart disease. Chances are there's no cardiologist around. So you have to travel tens, if not hundreds of kilometers to be able to see one. So we decided to build a mobile app to make this whole process a lot easier, faster, and cheaper for patients. And here's how it works. Once in the app, based on your issue, you get a list of doctors. You pick the one you like. You book a visit with the doctor based on your availability, and you just wait for the doctor to call you for a video consultation. It's that simple. We target primarily uninsured people in small to large cities. And in 3 years' time, we expect to be in 6 countries and generate $136 million in revenue. Unlike our competition, who provide access to local doctors only, which for the most part are in short supply in each individual country, we connect our patients to a network of doctors and specialists across borders in Africa, in Europe, and in North America. Our business model is a hybrid of B2C and B2B2C. On the consumer side, the patient pays for the consultation right on the app. We collect 35% commission, and the rest goes to the doctor. We also offer our service to organizations who pay a small monthly subscription fee for the member that they sponsor. We've deployed our service in Côte d'Ivoire, Cameroon, and the DRC. And since February, we've seen a 51% average monthly growth in patient registrations. To date, we have nearly 160 doctors in 6 countries, and they've conducted hundreds of consultations per month, I'm sorry. We have a contract with an NGO to facilitate remote medical consultations for sickle cell disease patients in Côte d'Ivoire with specialists in our network. And we also have a distribution agreement with an insurtech company in the DRC. And we are just getting started, and we have just the right team to deliver. We draw from institutions like Global Med, Riley Health, Harvard, MIT. And we are now raising our seed round, $550,000, to accelerate our marketing and sales and expand our technology. And we are, with that, we think that we'll be able to actually achieve our year 1 target of $2.4 million in revenue. And we'd love for you to be part of it. And thank you very much for your attention, and I'll take questions.
All right, well done. Big round of applause. Let's set that clock ready to go.
Yeah, congrats and thanks for the pitch. My first question would be, it's nice to have the consultations, but if you're talking about patients with cardiovascular diseases, for example, that would need an EEG, or patients that would need an MRI or just need a prescription, how far can you help them actually with your global network?
So our services primarily focus on providing medical advice to patients. So if the patient requires to be physically local at the clinic, then there's nothing we can do. But at least we can provide a way for them to do follow-up visits. They can upload their results on the platform, and the doctor will actually be able to access it and provide medical advice. We do also provide, the doctor actually prescribes medications after the consultations on the platform as well.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
If you could talk a little bit about how you're onboarding these doctors around the world, and how are you incentivizing them to be on your telemedicine platform versus another one?
Okay, so
Sorry, just to add to that, because
Yeah.
I was going to look at it from the other end. So I want to understand your patient's user journey, right? So how do they then use the app? Are they describing their symptoms to you guys before you allocate them to the doctor? Or what happens in the case when they don't even know what they're going through, and to select the right kind of doctor or specialist that they need? So I guess it's the same question, just on opposite ends of the market.
Okay, so the patient journey. Okay, sure. Well, basically the patient, when he registers to the app, he has a way to select the doctors either by specialty or any symptoms that they are observing. We can actually steer them towards the right specialist to pick from. So we give them a list, and then they select the specialist, and they look at the profile, and based on the reviews from previous patients, they can pick and choose a doctor that they'd like. That's how it works on the platform. Now, to your question, how we onboard doctors. Well, in Côte d'Ivoire, we actually work with the board. And so we get a list of all board-certified doctors. Or we do, for some other countries, we do online advertisement, and then we get doctors to sign up. And then we check with the boards to ensure that they're actually board certified in their respective countries. In Africa, it's a little bit complicated, but in Europe and North America, there are online resources to be able to do those due diligences. Okay.
All right, well done. Big round of applause. Come on down.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. All righty, we're just going to wait to get that microphone washed up. A little music to set the ambiance. Pass the clicker. Well done. Take the stage. Let's set that clock, and the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. Like 1 hour ago, I was really upset with the announcement that I can't get my updated slides. It was really like a disaster, but checking the email of my team, seeing the energy, what they are doing to move ahead was really something that get me back some energy to present you what we have. So I'm Mohamed Amin Aouni, CEO and founder of Trusted. So we are having a lot of electronic device, like 22 more billion electronic device with 2 to 4 years of lifetime, average lifetime, and they are transformed to e-waste, very hard to manage and very harmful with their carbon footprint. So that's why we starting since 2 years Trusted, like a digital platform offering a repair marketplace for business and social with a large physical repairer network. So we are ecosystem enabler, gathering all IT experts, repairer, logistic and parts supplier, official repair center, sales and relay points of even telco and even recycle and gov entity in one place to satisfy our customer and for a better planet. So our end user is based on a full management system, web platform for our customer and mobile app, internal full solution to manage the whole matching with the repairer and the customer success operation. Our business model is based on 25% on commission on repair operation, 15% on sales for new or refurbished device, and we have a corporate contract, subscription corporate contract for the B2B segment. Our unique selling point is transforming enabled repairer with training, repair tools, digital tools to quality level for fast and unlimited scale up on managing a huge number of repair. So the market size is huge. Only in Tunisia, where we are operating, actually, we have 100,000 of serviceable, obtainable market on device. For the MENA region, in $38 billion and $183 billion on European market. So we already have onboarded more than 50 repairer and relay point. We have more than 5,000, even more, of customer on B2C customer use it at least once our service, and 100 corporate with last year GMV of $150,000 euros. COVID gives us a chance to start Sharek. It's a circular economic program. It was repairing for social. We was backed by UNICEF and Canadian Embassy with a lot of companies offering them all device. This device was based on trusted experience, transformed on refurbished device for more than 900 students and children all over the country. So the process is fully digitally. We are even working on the e-waste management service, and we target to reach our, to transform all this energy on more traction and numbers. We are asking for $5,100 to go on operation and quality services, on product development, marketing and sales, and talent recruitment. All of this is really based on a big team that we are like 16 person supporting all our efforts to deliver this stuff. Thank you for your attention.
All right, well done. Sneaking in. Give a big round of applause. Let's set that clock and hear from our jury.
If I'd like to understand a little bit more about who exactly your target customer is. So I know you've got a B2B to C as well, but kind of how are you getting that go-to-market to reach that target customer would be great.
So basically, we are targeting the B2C. So we are our main customer, and they are entertaining the repairer because we have a large network of repair, a lot of cities in the country. So they are entertaining the interest of repairer to keep working on us. Then, based on this, we are targeting the B2B because B2B is more, even on the average basket size, is more important for us. Even on the recurrence of repair operation is more valuable with them. So we are even working on the B2B market, and we get a lot of good traction on the B2B segment also.
My question is around the right to repair and everything that's happening in the US, right? So what you find is that a lot of these devices are becoming more complex, and it's making it harder for third-party repair parties to actually refurbish a lot of the devices. So what are you guys doing not to be impacted by that? Because I think that could potentially kill your business. I know it's like specifically with phones, but it could morph into all other devices the more integrated these companies become, right? So what are you guys doing to curb that?
Yes, we are onboarding really experts. That means, for example, they are even finding a solution for the Face ID for the iPhone 13 when you change your screen. So, like, really, we have expert onboarding on the network of repair. We are working with them. They are managing, they are high evaluated on each new technology using big tools, and we are even supporting them to get the best tools so they can deliver even hard repair operation and help even entities to support them on refurbishing device. There was in Europe, we are targeting even refurbished companies to support them on high-level expertise on repairing their refurbishing technologies.
All right, well done. Let's give a big round of applause. Excellent, thank you so much. All right, get ready, set, and go for our next startup. The stage is yours.
Right. Oh, no, wrong side. Wrong side, right side.
We're going to hold on that timer real quick.
All right, there we go.
There we are.
Oh, fantastic. So real quick, right? What do you get when you put an engineer into an old tutoring industry? 1, 2, 3 tutors, right? So the problem with the tutoring industry at the moment is that on one side, you have a platform-based model, right, which results in unreliable matches. And then on the other side, you have your typical agency-based model, which results in expensive tutoring and, of course, too much admin. And then what we have is we have a solution that we've created, a web-based platform with a matching algorithm, which results in less admin for the tutors, less admin for our admin people, and less admin for students, and also which results in profitable matches and affordable quality tutoring. So these perfect matches for us have produced more than 2,200 lessons rated at an average rating of 4.7 out of 5 stars and a net promoter score of 74%. The estimated market size in South Africa alone is sitting at 700,000 students who have a budget of 1.7 billion rands to acquire tutoring. And we just want to capture 100 million, just for vibes. And then how people access our product is through our website, simple form where we capture data, which then goes into our dashboard. We also offer low data video courses to supplement some of the lessons. So we keep 30 to 50% of the hourly rate. This is on average 1,200 per request. And we're projecting to do 2 million rands by the end of this year, which is a 700,000 rand increase from the previous time we pitched to you guys. We're proud to say that we've contributed and paid up to 1.4 million rands to tutors to this point. And how we create demand for our tutors is through influencer marketing, because we try to go where our students are. We have partnerships with Varsity Vibe, which gives us access to an additional 194,000 students, and obviously our typical digital marketing. In addition, we work with our B2B clients, the names of University of Pretoria, Alan Gray, which gives us an additional access to more than 1,000 students on a yearly basis. So typically, if you want a reliable match, you gotta pay a premium. If you go for the affordable route, you're ending up with an unreliable match, and we're right there at the sweet spot between affordability and reliability. As if that's not enough, we have a money-back guarantee for our people. We have a hassle-free tutor swap-out policy because we have more than 3,500 tutors at the moment. And we have a culture feed, bro, And we have a tutor incentive as they earn more with us as compared to other companies. At the moment, we have my co-founder, Aaron, who is a background in mechanical engineering, and myself, important stuff. There we go. So recently we raised a seed fund round of 1 million just to help us take our platform to the next level. This will enable us to increase our efficiency by 38,000%. That's not a typo. And that's going to enable us to expand internationally and also position ourselves as a peer-to-peer learning platform. Thank you so much.
All right, well done. Give them a round of applause. Let's set that clock and hear from our jury.
So similar sort of question, but I wanted to know, how are you incentivizing the tutors to come onto the platform? And then if you could talk a little bit more about that matching and why that's important. And then how do you, it kind of leads back to how do you incentivize having the best tutors on your platform?
Those are great questions. So first of all, the biggest incentive for us is you can also look at us as a lead generator for the tutors, right? So we were talking about reducing admin for them. So if they're on the platform, they don't have to be marketing themselves. All they are is presenting their skills, ensuring that they get a consistent high rating and they have a consistent flow of students coming for their services. And also the importance of a perfect match is that beyond just having capabilities or the know-how, you need to have good communication skills. You need to have a proper match between a student and a tutor in terms of the actual content that they're covering, because the current solutions will give you a generic person, where we try to go as specific as a person who went to the same institution, sometimes lectured by the same lecturers, right? So that's when the importance of a match comes up, so that the success of that relationship is actually improved and actually do improve your marks. I hope that answers your question. Cool.
To follow up on this, when you were showing the competition, you were talking about reliable versus unreliable matches. Yeah. I would like to understand how you can measure this.
Perfect, perfect. So the thing is, with the agency-based models or a platform-based model, is that there's a lot of data you need to kind of work with, a lot of tutors you need to work with. So with our algorithm, we're able to go through a large number of tutors, right, which increases that reliability of that match without having to incur a lot of cost to get to that point. Right. I'm not sure if that's answering your question.
So what are your expansions into the lower levels of school, so like your primary and secondary education?
So in that way, that's why our B2B is very strong, right? Because some of those guys are in scholarship programs, which would then come in and are funded by our B2Bs, and then we support those guys, and they don't have to bear the cost, but their bursar bears the cost of that tutoring.
All right, thank you so much. Don't worry, you can keep asking questions. You can keep answering questions. We're here all afternoon. We're going to wipe off that mic. We're going to change the slides. We're going to get that clicker. We're going to set our pens ready to take notes. The stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm Amin, and I'm from Tunisia. I'm co-founder and COO of EpiLert. 4 years ago, one of our beloved had an epilepsy seizure, and that was tough for us, tough for our friends and the family, since we didn't know what to do, and also the doctor cannot know what happened. This is the problem that you are tackling. So the first problem, there is 1 out of 1,000 person die from an unexpected seizure. And also the doctor struggles from collecting the data from the patient, since you need to go to the hospital to have the data from the patient. That's why we came up with the solution EpiLert. We try to help caregivers to have peace of mind and help them once the seizure happens. And also, we provide a wearable device that detects and sends alert immediately and the notification to that caregivers. And we collect the data to improve the medical treatment in the future. This is our bracelet. We have 5 sensors in the bracelet. The EDA sensor, the most important sensor, that detects skin conductivity, so we can detect the neurological disease. And we have the heartbeat and the temperature, accelerometer, and gyroscope. So 5 sensors, the correlation of the 5 sensors makes the detection of the seizure. This is our MD platforms. So this is where the doctor can see the data daily. This is our system. So it's a bracelet connected to 2 mobile apps, one for the caregivers, one for the patient, and the cloud system, Microsoft Azure, to run the algorithm, and then we have the platform for the MDs. Our business model. So we sell the bracelet at $170. The cost is $60, and we have a monthly subscription fees with $10. The market size, it's a 2 billion market size, and we will scale on other neurological disease, and this is a 100+ market size. There is one out of 6 person has mental health and neurological disease. The market adoption. We went for a crowdfunding campaign since we incorporate our company in Delaware. We launched on Indiegogo. The goal was $15K, and we raised only $5,000, but we validated the market since we had pre-orders. We secured them, and people paid, and then they will get the bracelet once we have the FDA. We are type 2, 510K. So we raised it from business angel $130K, and we are looking for $200,000 to go to the market. Our HQ is in US, in Delaware, and all the operations are in Tunisia. We have one competitor since we have the EDA sensor. So Empatica has the EDA. We have more sensors for a better accuracy of detection. We have the mobile app and the doctor dashboard. Roadmap, we are just waiting for the FDA. We will submit once we finish all the documentation. This is our team. We have advisors from US, from eBay, and Google. This is our partners, technical, medical, and achievement. Thank you so much. EpiLert is more than a technology. It's a magic flower.
All right, well done. Big round of applause. Let's set that clock and get questions from the jury.
I do have a question, actually. It's very B2C oriented, or are you working with hospital and doctors to, to prescribe?
So it's a B2C, and also we can coordinate with the hospital and the foundation association when people have epilepsy. So it's a B2C and also B2B, and we can work in both of them.
And what has been your current traction to date? Your traction, so any kind of evidence of product market fit, revenue, number of customers that are paying?
So that's where we launched the crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo, and that's where people will pre-order the bracelets, and once it's ready with the FDA, we give them the bracelet later on.
And what's the timeline for FDA approval?
We are filing all the documents, and once we submit, it's between 6 to 9 months to go to market.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you have some sort of proof of concept that shows that it works?
Yeah, we made 25 prototypes in the previous 4 years. So we tested all the sensors, the mobile app, and the dashboard, and we are just waiting to finish it.
So they were worn by like epilepsy patients?
We are not allowed to do that since we are not in. We cannot do that only in clinical trials, and we cannot do that until we go for the FDA.
Okay.
Why did you decide to build your own wearable and not leverage, like your Apple Watches and all the other devices that exist?
Apple Watch doesn't have the EDA sensor, which is electrodermal activity sensor, and that detects the skin conductivity and it detects the variability of neurology. So that's one of the unique selling points we have. And we can later on, maybe Apple can adopt that sensor, or other wearable device can adopt that sensors.
And if I could ask about where you're manufacturing the sensors, and if you could talk about how by manufacturing in a certain area you've reduced the cost or something like that.
So we start producing in Tunisia, manufacturing in Tunisia. We have our main manufacturer who has the FDA is in Italy, and from Italy we get the approval and we can sell worldwide from there. Thank you so much.
All right, next startup getting ready. Grab that mic, grab that clicker, hit the stage. 3 minutes on the clock.
Good afternoon, everyone. Insurance sales, clearly, is generally experienced as complex and frustrating. So we decided to make it simpler. So today I can order food, even monitor delivery to my doorstep. I can book a cab, a trip. I can pay my bills, send or receive money, all from my couch. Why can I do that for insurance? Why can I get instantly from anywhere, any device, and any time, all the insurance that I need, and with customizable coverage? Instead of that, in most of our region, what we have is inefficient and mainly offline distribution network, lack of information, or misaligned with the insurance companies, complex choices, if any, and whatnot. And this is resulting to 1.5% penetration, speaking of the West and Central Africa region, yet the market is substantial. We talk about 130 million people, 5 million cars with an average of $20 monthly premium, and as far as health care is concerned, $10 billion spending, much of which is out of pocket for already vulnerable population. So to address that, Assuraf enables anyone to get their insurance in less than 2 minutes, reinventing the whole customer experience. From awareness, onboarding, payment, claim and support. We also provide digital distribution models, data analytics, and also dynamic and innovative product design to accommodate to the whole value chain and also meet the new customer behaviors. So our business model is mainly commission-based in the bracket of 15 to 25%, as well as set a fee or profit sharing, for those partnerships we have with insurance that are more integrated. Traction so far, launch, it's been 12 months, 2 countries, more than 90% insurance companies that were onboarded, independent agent program, and we have strategic partnerships with MNOs, banks, telehealth, super app, and whatnot. We're looking at $250K for pre-seed, for product development and expanding geographies. These are the numbers we like to look at. 1.2 million users by 2025 and $10 million. As for the exit, these are the opportunities. I mean, the good news is now insurtechs are now buying traditional insurance companies. The example of Lemonade and Metromile. And I'll put up my last slide with the incredible team I'm on this journey with. Thank you so much.
All right, well done. Let's set that clock and hear from our jury.
I would specifically like to understand the business model a little bit better. So do you guys have an underwriter license, or are you specifically taking a 15 to 20% commission on top of kind of the revenue that insurance would get by kind of your customer that's come on with them?
Yes, currently we don't underwrite the risk. So we have products that we get a commission from our partners. But then for those who design, because we have an actuary department, I mean, that lady over there, I mean, she has 15 years experience with Manulife and Mercer in North America. So she's the one, crafting the incredible products we have. And for those products, we have them backed by insurance companies. And for those, we have additional set of fee and profit sharing on top of the, regular commission, which is average 20%.
And you said you were in 2 countries at the moment. Which countries in Francophone Africa is that?
Yes, originally from Senegal and just recently launched in Ivory Coast, which is the biggest market in the CIMA region, which is 15 countries with the same insurance regulatory framework.
Sorry, last question is, what is your gross margin?
Where's my?
Your gross margin.
My growth margin? Growth margin around 20%.
So just to get a clear understanding of where you guys sit, so are you a distributor for already established insurance companies, or do you develop new products that you then distribute on behalf of insurance companies, or you develop your own?
Actually, we do both. The low-hanging fruit obviously was to distribute, the already existing products, but we believe that the penetration is low, not because of the inefficient distribution, but also the products are not adapted. That's why those that we develop internally. We recently launched, the first individual health insurance in Senegal with a lot of traction. So, yeah.
Last question. So do the transactions then run through your platform? So i.e. you have a view, like you said, you've done the whole process of claims and all that stuff. So you claim the premiums, if they make a claim, payout and all that stuff, so you have visibility in all of that? Or?
Absolutely. We manage the whole life cycle of the contract with the client.
Cool. Thanks.
All right, well done. Give him a big round of applause. Thank you so much. All right, pass that clicker. Get that mic, set those slides. Welcome to the stage with a big round of applause to Lisa.
Afternoon, everybody. My name is Kabuth Ndwati, CEO and co-founder Teleza Africa. I've spent the last 20 years in leading and growing the largest media house and breweries in East Africa. So what's Teleza? We are Africa's first super app on the smartphone's lock screen. 2012 was a significant year. Why was it significant? One thing happened, the digital migration took place, and 2 things came out of the digital migration. One, we saw massive fragmentation of the media landscape, and 2, change in consumption habits from what is called appointment sedentary to what's on the go, on the mobile handset. And so what happened? The mobile screen became the first screen. What's the problem? What's the solution? Due to the fragmentation of media, then we've put together 65 and growing publishers from the online place. And number 2, we've adopted what is called the lock screen platform or mobile lock screen platform. And we've made it convenient by making sure that it does not interfere with the normal working of your phone. So who really are we? We are Africa's first super app powered by news advertising partnerships for the 200 plus smartphone users on lock screen in Africa. What are the features? We're saying we're the first lock screen platform in Africa. We have a wallet on it. It gives you points when you use, when you invite a friend, when you click on an advert, when you stay on board for more than 30 days. We offer engagement. We have an e-commerce part of which that we call the Teleza World. We have a community and we have news. What's the ecosystem like? 3 ecosystems. We have the user at the central point. We have the advertiser, publisher, and partner. What are the core things we're offering is really engagement and visibility. What traction so far? Registered, incorporated in Delaware, built the lock screen platform, 65 plus publishers. ITU Global Award and Recognition in 2020 in Geneva. We've gone out and talked to universities, which we've used to recruit telco partnerships on a Samsung partnership as we speak, 45 plus and growing subscription, and we're onboarding our initial advertisers. What's the total addressable market? We're talking about 25B, 3B SAM, and 300 million SOM. What is it? We put a matrix, engagement versus reach stroke penetration. We've taken the top right quadrant, which says we're offering engagement and we're offering reach relative to other traditional offerings. Those are the sort of partners we have running across 24 genres. What methods are you using? You can see the way I'm dressed. This is what we're using, face-to-face, talking to people on the ground, in the market, recruiting, and that is what is earning us the 45 plus. What's our ask? We've bootstrapped so far 300K, 5T on a grant. What we want to use the money for is really just to grow the market, get subscribers, get proper offices, upskill our HR capacity. Who are the people? Right. We have my co-founder, Mr. Kirori, who's worked in telcos all over the world, in Europe, here in South Africa, and in Kenya. We have Julian, who's the top content creator. We have Mungai as our CTO. We have Young, who's working with the top advertising.
All right, buddy. There are a million people who make this world great. Thank you so much. Don't worry. You can tell us all about it a little later. Hang tight. Let's hear from the jury.
I think my first question would be, you say that it's kind of an application that goes on the lock screen. If you could talk a little bit about kind of why that's quite important, and then if it works on Apple or if it works on Google.
Looks like that. You want to read, you get into the story. You want to use your phone, you swipe out and use your phone.
That's very cool. Then can I talk a little bit about kind of the size of your agent network, and then where are you currently operating?
Size of?
The agent network that you use to kind of sell the product to customers.
The agency network.
The agent
Currently
network.
we're using what's called face-to-face. Yes. We will go online advertising. But the face-to-face is working great so far.
Okay.
How do you deal with emerging data protection laws in African countries and user consent and so on?
It's choice-based. You choose to get in.
Okay.
We've not had any issue. It's you who chooses, so.
Okay, thank you.
How are you guys combating notification fatigue, right? Because notification fatigue, where people just are bombarded with information constantly. And now the last thing you want to do is look at your lock screen and then you boom, hit by an ad and all that kind of stuff. So
they love it. I mean, once you download it, you love it. It's great. You use it. It's first in, last out. Lovely. That's the feedback we're getting. Yeah.
If you could talk to that, so what is your the number of active consumers, and then also kind of what is your retention? Has anyone said they want to opt out?
No, certainly there are people who think it's lousy, but they're a minority. Majority, 65% retention levels.
All right, lovely. Give a big round of applause. Thank you so much. And keep that applause going for our jury and everybody present. You did a great job. Nope. Going that way with it. Thank you. There's somebody over there who's going to take it off your hands. Thank you very much, jury. I think you are hanging tight mostly. I think there might be one swap out. No? Everything's good? Fantastic. How are you feeling in the crowd? All right, let's see some movement. We'll work on it. Don't worry. This is an ongoing process. Don't worry. I'll be here all afternoon. Our next challenge is going to be with the Fast Track Tech Challenge, if I said that correctly, in partnership with the International Trade Center. To speak better on that, you know, I'm long-winded and I can talk about almost anything anytime, but I think there's somebody much better suited to say that. Could I welcome Kathy to the stage? A big round of applause. Thank you for joining us. Watch your step. Perfect. Say a few words. Wait for the microphone to be turned on. We good? Almost. Sorry. Are we good for the microphone? Check. Oh, no. Almost. You got to keep speaking though. Hello. Take mine.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi, everyone. So I'm Kathy, and I'm from the International Trade Center. So we are a joint agency of the United Nations and the World Trade Organization based in Geneva. So what we do is that we support micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in transitioning economies export their products. So why are we here? As you might already know, the United Nations has set an agenda so to shape economic growth and global development, the SDGs. We believe that trade is key, is a key instrument, but so does technology. So this is why we have spent the last 10 years supporting entrepreneurship, more particularly tech-driven entrepreneurship in the continent. So today we support over 200 startups in 10 emerging markets, so through technical assistance, but also market access. This is why we are here, and we do this work through governments such as the Netherlands, but also the EU with PACAO. And so we are here to introduce you to the Fast Track Tech Challenge. We will be having 2 startups, one from Ethiopia, Tasmobi, and the second one from Senegal, Logidou. So I really hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Hello? Yes, all right, fantastic. All right, so same situation as always. A few minutes on the clock. I see one startup. Do we not have a second? Come on up, buddy. Cheers. You can take your space just to the right, and you can take a seat just to the left. They're put it against her. We don't have a cage in this arena, but they're against each other. It's a strong battle. The floor is probably yours.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. So I'll just give you a short story about how we ended up starting Tasmobi. So I'm born in Kenya. I've been living in Norway most of my life. And my family is from Ethiopia. So every time we used to go to Ethiopia, I remember this one specific time. I was at my cousin's place, and the bathroom had some leaking issues. So the pipes were not working. So I asked him, when are you planning to get this fixed? And then he told me a funny thing. So what he told me was he's been trying to get a plumber to fix this issue for the past 2 weeks, and he couldn't find anyone. So this was a very interesting insight I got at that time. And at the same time, I also noticed that around 100,000 of the TVET's graduates, 70% of them are either not finding work opportunities or they're underemployed. So how could this be happening that you have the demand and you also have the supply, but it's not working? So that's how we started with the Tasmobi platform. So Tasmobi platform was the first marketplace that was set up in Ethiopia to be able to match both the supply and the demand side. So we identified the market in Addis alone to be around 454 million USD. And this is across 7 different categories that we're focusing on. The main categories that we're focusing on currently is within cleaning, plumbing, electrical work, and disinfection, which we started as of last year. So the solution that we have built is an application But as you probably know, the internet penetration in Ethiopia is not very high, and the application usage is also not very high. So as a solution, we also added call center component to it so that people can actually call us and then order a service. On top of this, we also have integrated with one of the most famous social media platforms, Telegram, to be able to take orders. So our business model, we have 3 business models. We have the B2C, where we connect the service provider with the user households, and we take 50%. But we're also having a B2B model where we work with large brands, for instance, bathroom retailing distributors, in which we provide installation service for all of their customers that are purchasing these goods. And we also work with government, for instance, with the disinfection service. We disinfected all of their cultural and touristic sites across Ethiopia. So looking at the traction, so we've been able to onboard 1,500 service providers as of now. We have 30,000 users that we have registered, and we have unlocked around 5 million birr, which is equivalent to around 100,000 USD in the past 2 years. And we've also been able to build strong partnership. This is what makes us different from the market. So for instance, we've been recognized by Google as one of the 50 top startups through their Black Founders Fund. I forgot the exact name of the product. And this is the team. Thank you very much.
I think my first question is going to be about how do you pay the service providers on the marketplace, and kind of if you're not using a technology application to make that seamless, how are you ensuring that there's no kind of fraud or bad service providing?
So that's a good question. So in Ethiopia, when we first started off, we could not find the right license to use. So the license that we currently have is a brokerage license. And with this license, we're not actually allowed to collect payment from the customer. So we have to collect the payment from the service providers. And in our specific case, what we do is every service provider that is joining TaskMobi has to deposit, let's say, 50 USD. And then from each job that is completed, we will take our 15% commission over to our account. Yeah. So these are the challenges that we're facing in the regulation aspect.
I love the story that you mentioned at the beginning. So there's a real need for sure. But how do you manage to convince clients, customers? Like, did you do marketing research, insight that they really are able, happy to pay for it?
Yes. So I forgot to mention actually in the first slide. So from when we did our survey, we saw that 78% of the households are actually struggling to find professional and reliable service providers. So we do see a demand. Our challenge has been more on how do we make sure that they can use our technology to order these services.
And on the other side, how do you ensure that the service providers that are on your platform, that the users are not searching for them and then paying them outside of TaskMobi?
So to solve this, we're trying to provide a range of value adds for the customer. So one of them is that the service provider that is coming on board has been going through a strict vetting process. And on top of that, we're now building insurance type of scheme with the local bank there to be able to provide them in case something goes wrong. This insurance will take over the claims. So this would only be given if they ordered through the platform.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Tamsir Traore. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of Logido. The recently free trade agreement has opened the door to the $3 trillion market. However, the majority of this market will be used for transport and goods, person, and also services. However, we already see a lot of lack in logistic, actually. In fact, intra-African logistic costs take 3 times than the average. It's due to the lack of corridor, logistic corridor existing, a complexity of customer clearance, cost and deadline was not controlled, and also a limited capacity. The result is it takes more than 10 days for custom and clearance in West Africa, and sometimes 2 days to get an offer of transport. A group of dynamic people who work with cumulative 50 years of experience in different sectors like logistic, technology, and operation got one ambition, the ambition to connect and bring African market closer together. Our promise is to reduce the cost, logistic cost of 30%, create corridor of transport, integrate all of custom and clearance duties, and also eliminate all the intermediary. Also, it's to win time with instant quotation, multimodal comparator, and also full service provider. Logido is an intelligence between logistic players and all applicants, corporate, agribusiness, and also commerce and e-commerce. With Logido, you can send and receive shipment via our web platform to compare and organize the transport and also integrate custom clearance. But also for the e-commerce, it's able us to automate the order, have a real-time pricing, and also manage the cash on delivery. Our model is an aggregator model where we take commission on all the transport on the corridor and have some margin on additional services. Our market actually is a 218 million euro market between Morocco, Senegal, and Ivory Coast. And in Africa, it's globally more than $150 billion euro. In terms of partnership, we start in Morocco, where we have our first hub. We work with logistic companies and also big and small companies. In West Africa, we have a lot of last milers, middle milers, and also custom clearance company.
All right, buddy, just about out of time. Give it a big round of applause, though. Thank you. Don't worry, we can continue pitching. Let's set the clock and get ready for questions from our jury.
Out of interest, you said that your Bante Express, which is also kind of a last mile fulfillment provider, is one of your customers. How does Logido work with them?
In this fact, we have several customers who use us for import, storage, and last mile delivery. On this part of last mile delivery, we aggregate several companies as Yobante Express and this stuff, and we use them to deliver the service.
That makes sense. So you're focusing on kind of road freight in between different countries. And
exactly.
Okay, and why have you focused on Francophone Africa as your first market?
For the beginning, we are Senegalese, so we start with Senegal, and after this one, we start to work with Morocco, because Morocco have several volume between Morocco, Senegal, and Ivory Coast. So we go to Morocco last year to confirm our model, and since two months now, we are serving also Ivory Coast.
And just to be clear, is that 84K in your 2019 revenue, and then you've earned 300 euros in 2020?
I don't know.
So I'm asking about your revenue growth over time.
That's my revenue growth.
Okay, great. Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Like great challenge, great issue, but what about the competition? I'm sure.
Our main competition is the informal actors. We have something like 17% of the transport in Africa is made by informal. So actually, our target is to take 5% of this informal market.
I don't have a question, but I'm happy to see Bante Express on the board, so shout out to that.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause. Gentlemen, you can make your way to the left side of the stage. Join me just down here. Thank you very much. Cheers. I'm going to have you wipe that. Thank you very much. Microphone 2. Thank you. Where? Hide and go seek for the microphone then? Where did it go, the microphone? This one? No, the microphone he was using. Oh, clever. All right, I'm sorry. It's always a juggle of these microphones. I never can keep anything straight. Can I get that one back in my hand, please? All right, I'm going to welcome to the stage for the introduction of the next challenge. The man of the hour, the captain of the boat, as he's been called, Christoph. Are you in the house? There he is. Big round of applause for the man of the hour. And joining him on stage would be Yannick. Yannick, are you around? You want to say a few words? He's coming down to my left. So keep that applause going. These are big guys, and they have a lot to do with the success of this event, and I appreciate them greatly.
Yeah, so I've got another story. In 2019, we had the AfricArena Showcase Tour, which was taking startups that won AfricArena events the previous year on a tour going to the US, New York, SAP, San Francisco with 500 startups, Paris with Vivatech, and we went to TCAD 2019 in Japan. And in 2019 in Japan, I met with the amazing team from Double Feather Partners, with JICA, with Yannick, who actually was working for another organization. And 2 years later, we are back together and very pleased to announce that Double Feather Partners, JICA, and AfricArena have entered into this partnership to bring the track that you're going to see now. And we're looking forward to these great startups, part of the Ninja program supported by JICA. But Double Feather Partners and JICA also supported the VC Unconference, which took place last week. And it was really a great experience for everybody. So this is another example of the bridges we're building between African and international ecosystem, in this case between Africa and Japan. So we look forward to the future, Yannick. What's in store for us? And do you want to tell us about the JICA program?
I guess it's working, yeah. So obviously very excited to be here. And our goal really is to bring the Japanese component and make sure that Japan is more present in the ecosystems, the different ecosystems you work in. We are Double Feather Partners working on behalf of JICA. So working together and executing projects for JICA on the African continent. We're currently in Kenya, and Fuasan will be on stage later to tell you more about the actual Project Ninja. But our goal really is to make sure that we make connections while on the continent, because coming from Japan, we can invest from afar, hope that money sticks, and then just play the portfolio game. But really, for us, it's about being on the ground. And meeting with Christophe in Japan and then here has already yielded a lot of results for us, being able to interact with so many ecosystem players here. And we look forward to deepening these connections. And of course, thank you to Christophe for putting all of this together, and also including Francophone Africa, because Anglophone Africa is doing great. There's a lot of potential, as you can see, with the startups in Francophone Africa. And so we look forward to deepening this relationship. And thank you so much for your attention.
All righty, Roo, fantastic. Now, it might seem like I've got everything together. Yes? All right, fantastic. It might seem like I've got everything together upstage when I'm smiling and I'm shouting at you and I'm jumping around, bringing the startups in and off. But really, I couldn't have any of this done without somebody very specifically. Can we give a big round of applause to Katie, please? Because she is really the power behind the throne. I am nothing without this woman, Christophe. It's her right-hand woman, and she does so much, and I want to thank her personally because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm looking at her constantly as soon as I'm off stage. So there is another intro that I would like to introduce. Yao Isa, and now I'm sorry, you're going to have to remind me. I just put the name back in my pocket. Can we give it a big round of applause?
It's okay. Thank you very much. My name is Nao Fua from JICA. JICA is Japan International Cooperation Agency, the Japanese government agency. So JICA launched a Project Ninja 2020 last year to enhance the startup ecosystem in Asia, Africa, and other regions. And also we try to make a bridges between the ecosystems. The ecosystem within the cities, within the country, and also within the African continents, and also the ecosystem between Africa and Asia. So by the way, it's been 6 years since I joined in JICA. Before joining JICA, I used to be a co-founder of tech startup. We provided dating matching application for single men and women, like a Tinder. But we made a serious one, not the one you're thinking of in your head. So it's a serious one. So I had enough experience connecting the men and women, but now I'm connecting the ecosystems in Africa and Asia. This is my job. And in this project, JICA is running many activities, like including incubation program, acceleration program, and based on those activities, we also do the policy advocation, and also business matching activities, and bridging ecosystems. And last year, we had a business competition in 19 countries in Africa. And also, currently, we are running incubation program and acceleration program in 5 or 6 countries at this moment. So, in this project, so again, I want to make a bridges between the ecosystem to enhance entire African ecosystem for the Africa, for the Asia, and for me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nao. My name is Yao Garba. I'm the National Director, National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. We're a subsidiary of the Nigerian ICT regulator. So we thank Mr. Nao and JICA especially. For some couple of years, JICA has been helping Nigerian startups. And there are startups that have gone to some lands, presenting in different events. Unfortunately, we didn't bring them here with us. For instance, we have My Clinic, we have Trade Booza, we have Emergency Response Africa. And also JICA is helping us in the center with support in various form advisory, and we're planning also an incubation program, which we plan to make it a model that we can export it to other government-supported incubation hubs in Nigeria. So, of course, as he said, really JICA is building bridge for us. Within Nigeria, we're linking different clusters, ecosystems, and now he's linking us even to other African nations because thanks to JICA, we are here, and we are really excited. I'm sure next time we'll bring more people for this program. So thank you so much, and we appreciate JICA and even all the organizers of this program. Thank you. Okay.
Fantastic. Make your way down, please, and thank you. All right, a big round of applause for Nao Fua-san and Yao, please. Yes. There it is. Fantastic. All right. Our startups are coming up. They have no time to waste. We got time on the clock. We got juries in front of me. I've got a microphone here with the clicker in hand, and a microphone here for you too, sir.
When was the last time you had a conversation about periods, and not the grammar kind? Periods are universally taboo, and yet a universal sign fundamentally of health and vitality. It's also a $26 billion industry, and in case that doesn't get your interest, I'm going to give you some more talking points. Here you go, judges. But all joking aside, this is a huge cascading generational challenge for 4 in 5 girls and women in East Africa who lack access to both sanitary pads and reproductive health answers. Without these pads, girls have to engage in transactional sex in order to focus in the classroom. They don't talk about the problems with their bodies, and they get ongoing, deeper health issues. When they do talk about it, P&G lost 20% of market share because they had bad pads. They haven't gotten that market share back, but don't worry, we're on it. Without answers to questions, 98% of girls' first sex is unwanted at the average age of 12, with a man 10 years older. They don't have the tools to say no and to determine their own life choices, with cascading problems. We've stepped in to fill the gap. We designed our Nia sanitary pads with customers. It's a high-quality, low-cost pad that women and girls love. It's a lifetime product that they use even when they don't want it. We've innovated green pads. Next year, we're going to be piloting our own products that are using agricultural byproducts and also waste materials that are already landfilled that we're going to reclaim. It'll save 30% in cost of goods sold. We also provide answers on the back of our pad package to girls' questions and connect them to these free digital resources that connect them to life-saving clinics. In the last 3 years, we've had tremendous impact in incredibly adverse situations, generating revenue when it's been seemingly impossible. 1 in every 10 customers has been using our digital resources, with 1 in 4 getting access to family planning or crisis pregnancy support. We're now starting to own this channel from next month. Before COVID, we had just signed a national distributor agreement with somebody that was a publicly listed company. It didn't go so well during COVID, largely due to that company's challenges. We were positioned to grow 10x, but we've re-pivoted, and we now have 3 regional distributors with a very basic business model. And we have 3 more that we're going to be signing by the end of this year to just systematically grow to achieve 4% market sales with our own revenue that we can generate. We have an award-winning team. Our newest hire rose from the ranks of Beiersdorf. And in 5 years, with just 12% of Kenyan menstruators, which is 1.9 million people, we can make tremendous returns on investment into society. Thank you very much.
Thank you. How do you take care of production and logistics?
Yes, right now we import from China to build out our customer base. We're starting to slowly internalize, starting with multi-packs for kiosks to grow drop size. The manufacturing will then be a next logical extension. We're partnering with an Indian innovator called Akar to do the actual processing. So we're bringing together the best of 2 social enterprises, if that answers your question.
Could I ask a little bit more about how you are going to educate Kenyan girls that this is actually an option and why it's better than kind of the other pads on the market?
Yeah, well, 98% of girls and women want single-use disposable products, so we offer that. It's benchmarked to the lowest price at the local kiosk. So people normally go to their local kiosk and buy on credit. So it's really about availability and consistency and delivery. Through our nonprofit that works in after-school clubs, we also create awareness and demand. But really, if we start with young people, we create lifetime loyal customers, but the pricing is really, it's on par with bad pads.
And then you talk about how you're going to have to kind of go to that informal market, to the kind of the spaza shops there. How are you going to get the logistics to kind of get it from, you know, the port in Kenya out into that market, and how are you dealing with that?
Yeah, so the products get landed in Nairobi, and we warehouse them, and then we give them to different distributors. So you have large joint business plans with fewer distributors. So you create 6-month rolling JBPs on sales and marketing with each of the distributors to achieve your targets. So you say to a distributor, we want 2,000 boxes every month, and figure out how to do that.
And if you could maybe just mention what your gross margin is and kind of the unit economics, given that it's a low price point.
Our gross margins are trash right now in COVID. They're like 5%, but that's why we're innovating slowly. So bringing in single pads and packaging them is our first step that we can self-fund, which will reclaim 10%. We can talk more about it later. Thanks.
Shamba Pride. My name is Samuel Muguti. I'm the CEO. Shamba is Swahili word for farm, and we are disrupting rural distribution systems for smallholder farmers. Rural poverty rate across many countries in Africa is very high. Actually, in Kenya, it's 67%. Average is 61%. These populations are smallholder farmers. They depend on informal retailers to access seeds, fertilizer, and other agriculture inputs. The story is the same. These farmers, you ask them why they are not successful, they'll tell you poor access to agriculture inputs, they tell you they don't have advisory, they'll tell you they don't have finance, and it's evident that poor access to key agriculture inputs and services actually has contributed to smallholder farmer low farm productivity, and actually this denies millions of farmers income. The market is big. Look at Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, population of 1+ billion. This is a $1 trillion market for key agriculture inputs and services. So what we are doing is that we target informal agro-retailers and we transform them to become digi-shops. And these digi-shops, what we do, we give them a platform that provides the tools and technology to upscale their operations such that they can offer more improved services to the farmers they serve every day. And the platform offers a supply chain solution, connecting rural farmers to credible manufacturers of agriculture inputs. The platform offers technology to support last mile extension and education. The technology supports capacity building for these informal agro-dealer stores to upscale their service and retail experience to farmers. Technology, we have trademarked this digi-shop technology. And it's evident, some two lessons we have learned is that a modern retail agriculture supply chain is sustainable, is scalable, and two is that markets can transform along a very predictable path from informal, traditional to become modern, and that's what we are doing with the digital model. Stores joining our network will significantly, dramatically increase revenues, profitability, customer service, and this is one of the validation of our model. How more is sustainable, we are leveraging on franchise structure and technology to really improve service delivery to smaller farmers across Africa. We are servicing currently 1,000 of these informal stores. We are upscaled them with DigiShop technology and servicing directly 27,000 farmers. We have started more rapid expansion to reach 1 million farmers the next 4 years and service 10,000 of these agro retailers and upscale them to become more super and offer retail experience. Revenue model right now, we take margins from inputs and services distributed through our platform, and also two is we are looking at more revenue centers, credit, storage, and all that. We have a fantastic team behind this, drawn from last mile distribution, from technology. Myself, I have a lot of experience in tech and last mile distribution. Thank you.
Samuel, sorry if I missed it, but where are you currently operating in?
So we have operations in Kenya. Right now, 50% coverage in Kenya. The next 6 months, we'll have national coverage in the country, and then start rolling out Pan-African expansion.
And then how do you find these digi-shops to convert? And do you need kind of an agent network to convert these digi-shops, or is it kind of a one-time sales process? And then, yeah, if you could just outline that, that would be great.
So, for example, there's a unique culture across Kenya, and this cuts across many African countries. Farmers, when they need seeds and fertilizer and advisory, they visit these village-level stores. We call them agro-dealer stores. In Kenya, the number is above 12,000. They're spread across different villages. And basically, directly, these 12,000 agro-dealer stores, they control 6 million plus smaller farmers. And the total number of farmers in Kenya is 8.5 million. So this is slightly over 80%. So we have built a screening and upgrading selection tool that really supports decision making to upgrade them from one stage to another until they become DigiShop. And this across looking at their record keeping, adoption of technology, supply chain solution, and 10 metrics supported with that decision making, and think eventually we convert them to become DigiShops.
And then what's your current revenue at the moment?
We are crossing 1 million USD mark this month, annual revenue. Actually, we're looking at growing that 4 times year by year across the next 4 years, basically. And actually, one of the first agri-tech unicorns in Africa. Shamba Pride.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Pass it on. Oh, yep, thank you. All right, wonderful. We are plowing through the day with the speed at record time, at record power. How are y'all feeling out there? Man, it's embarrassing for everybody in the room. I do these funky gestures and I'm just here with an empty room. All right, guys, well, listen, we're getting to almost the end. I want to thank our jury of star and intellectual prowess. Thank them. We can give them a big hand as they rise from their seats and move on out of here. Thank you guys very much for your intellect, your votes, and your consideration. The most trusted and vital documents of the entire event are in the hands of Emma right now. Now, if you're a startup in the room, raise your hand. Yeah? All right, there are more startups than that. Come on. There they are. So listen, how did you guys feel being under the lights, having the microphone, having the clicker? Was it a fun experience? Was it a bad experience? Or was it a bit in the middle? We got some ups, we got some downs, we got some in the middles, right? Well, listen, I do a lot of public speaking exercises, and it stresses me just like everybody else. I'm a human being. I get nervous before my presentations. I get nervous before these MC gigs. It's a difficult thing to stand under these lights and to stand under these things. And then on top of that, when the startup goes in the room, there's so much at stake. When they sit down at an investor, they get so nervous. They prepare for these meetings. There's so much. And the investor on the other side, you heard Zach say it the other day, they can see up to hundreds of pitch decks per week, per month. I even counted in my career as a pitch trainer and public speaking trainer that I saw, I think it was 75 to 80 pitch decks over one 5-day week. It was a very tiring week and I worked a lot. So, one of my most fun and most exciting and most anticipated moments of this event, and I'm not even kidding you, I really look forward to it every year, is that we've decided to switch that paradigm. We know what it's like to be in the hot seat as a startup. We know what it's like to be in the hot seat of our entrepreneurs. But do the investors themselves know what it's like to be in the hot seat? Are the investors themselves going to fare well with the microphone in hand, with the lights, the cameras, and the judges? That's what we're about to find out. So, we are going to have, I think this is our 3rd year we've been doing it, our investor pitches from the investors themselves. How does that sound? That's amazing, right? Amazing. I'm super excited about it. You should be too. So I'd like to welcome to the stage Grace, Louise, and Jocelyn. Please give them a big hand. All right. Are we missing one judge? Or are we 3, 4, Katie? 1, 3? 3 judges. Fantastic. You see, without Katie, I'm nothing. I'm just a smiling face. All right. So they're going to have the same pressure, the same moments, the same counter. Ladies, are you ready? Smiling faces. Give them another big round of applause just to send them out.
Hello, everybody. My name is Grace Lerodi. I'm here in my capacity as the Africa Director of Grindstone Ventures. Grindstone Ventures is a recently launched, as of literally last week, Monday, 100 million Rand fund to invest in tech-enabled businesses that can really help with job growth and ensuring that the fund the portfolio is representative of the demographics of Africa and those underserved communities of women as well as previously disadvantaged African or women of color. What sets us apart as a venture fund is that we have one of the longest standing accelerators called the Grindstone Accelerator with my partner Will, think of us as Will and Grace team. It's a year program where we provide access to knowledge, access to markets, and access to networks. And this is where it really sets us apart we're not just a funder, we are a family that really helps nurture businesses, and we've successfully been managed to, I'd say, even like we've got some great exits that have come out of the accelerator in the past 7 years. At the moment, we've already invested in some businesses, such as a black woman founded a business called Welo, a med tech business. We have a big focus on agriculture, ensuring that whole from farm to fork, called AgriLogic. Also, Drive to Own is another one of the businesses we've recently invested in, really helping I'd say consumers that don't have that can't own a car themselves, and so it's an innovative business that allows, as you drive, to own your car. I'd say that the key message, as you hear the types of businesses we've invested in that have come through the accelerator, is that they are solving for pertinent issues that can help drive our economy and help really create jobs that we so desperately need. So please come afterwards. Please come to Will and Grace and come hear more about our accelerator and how we can help get your business to the next level. Thank you. This is actually very, very tough. Well done to all the startups today.
Hi, thanks for a very energetic presentation. I guess I have two questions for you. It's an interesting investor when you run an accelerator. Do you take an equity position as an accelerator? And the second one is, what metrics do you measure post-investment?
So we don't take equity for the accelerator, for the startup to be part of the accelerator. There's a small fee that they pay for the year-long program. And what also sets us apart is we take that fee and put it into the fund that's making the founder a shareholder themselves within the fund generally.
How much is the fee?
36,000 Rand per annum. And then you asked some of the metrics that we use. So as part of the program, so they have to at least be a little bit revenue generating, so minimum $50,000 per annum. And how we measure success is just how over the program they've been able to get more customers and also grow their team accordingly for scale. That's just a summary, but yeah.
Do you lead investment rounds?
So we both lead in investment rounds as well as co-investments. So a lot of our startups are on the early stage, much earlier stage. So with that, it's all about de-risking. So we're all about ensuring that we work together with the investor ecosystem and do co-investment rounds. So for example, a lot of our, like AgriLogic as an example, currently raising, we were the first to come in, and we're helping, ensuring that they can also like close the round and finish off the round.
If I can just get in a question, what tech sector are you focused on globally? Where do you work?
We are sector agnostic, working mainly in impact-related type sectors. Thank you. Sorry, that's a guess. All right, well done. Vote Grindstone Ventures.
Hi everyone, I'm Louise Stewart. I'm from NASPAS Foundry, and I think this is actually the right way around to do it, because at the end of the day, capital is a commodity, and the value sits with the entrepreneurs. So, it's up to you guys to choose the best partners for your journey. And it is exactly that, it's a journey. The different partners are more suitable in different stages of your life cycle. I think when it's very early stage, you're still at the seed stage, NASPAS wouldn't be the right partner. But as you grow and you're able to demonstrate product market fits, generating revenue, then definitely give us a call. If I was looking for an investment partner, there are a couple of things I would think about. The ability to add strategic value at the boardroom table, thinking about strategic direction. There's small things you can change to your business model early on. To be able to have that conversation with partners that you value and trust is very, very important. I think network is also very important. When the investors diligencing you, you should diligence them as well. What is your network? How are you going to help me build my business? when we get to rounds B, C, D, who do you think are the right partners? What access do you have to those partners? You know, it's not a one-way due diligence. I think it should be a two-way due diligence. And thirdly, I think vision. You know, is your partner aligned with where you want to take their business? What is their time frame of looking at building your business? Are they looking for the next 2-3 years, or do they have a long-term view? All of these aspects, I'd argue NASPAS has a great positioning. I mean, we're a 100-year-old company, over $100 billion market cap. We've allocated 1.4 billion rand to invest specifically in South Africa, and we've seen an amazing pipeline of opportunities. We've built a very impressive portfolio, and yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Hello, thank you, and great presentation. So I'd like to find out, what are your most successful investments?
It's early stages. We've got about 7 companies. If you're talking about Foundry specifically, we've got about 7 companies in our portfolio. And you know, some are doing better, and then they a little bit, and some are doing better. So I can't answer that yet. But they're all actually doing, you know, impressive for where they are in their life cycle. We've got investments like Sweep South. You know, we're looking to do it with them. The Student Hub has built an amazing platform for TVET colleges. They're looking to do a round as well. Where's My Transport was also internationalized globally already. So, you know, those are a couple of our good portfolio companies.
So that's interesting. I actually had dinner with Aisha a few weeks ago from Sweep South. And I'm curious, I mean, you're entering, like as an entrepreneur, when I'm raising money at the early stage, it's about, I need the money. But when I'm in the growth stage where you guys invest, I guess my question is, what added value do you bring? Because these are the moments where we're making boards, where we're starting to do things that we're not used to. We become less entrepreneurial, more corporate in some way. What do you bring to the table as an investor that maybe sets you apart?
So I think our view of how the sectors have evolved in other markets is hard to replace. You know, we've often, depending on your sector, but we've often seen how your particular company or business opportunity has grown in India, Brazil, Southeast Asia, you know, and we're able to bring that insight to the table. So one of the things. There are many others, but that's one of them.
Right, thank you. Amazing presentation, and I'm sure everyone is writing down the questions you just asked. So maybe you can answer some of these questions for us as well. So like for your fund, how would we like feel comfortable with you guys or be confident in you guys to lead that kind of investment and like trust you as well?
So was the question around trust, sorry?
Yeah, so like, you know, we hear a lot about growth stage investments. A lot of that money goes into unrealistic growth. So VCs pushing startups to just grow, and without actually backing that up. So how will we trust that you're not that kind of person?
No. That's where I think my third point around vision is important. So when you are looking to take on funding from a partner, it's also important to hear from them where they see your business going and at what pace. And what are the KPIs they're going to be tracking? Are they going to be tracking profits, or are they going to be looking at market share? And you know, there's not one right answer for each business. It's about alignment.
Alrighty, Rue, thank you very much for your time. Give her a big round of applause. Last but not least, Jocelyn, take it away.
Okay, hi everyone. So my name is Jocelyn. I am from Startup Bootcamp Afritech. So I'm who you come to before you go to NASPAS. We really fund, we assist early stage startups. We run an accelerator program that goes for 3 months, where we do really hardcore stuff that prepares you for high growth, high risk, a lot of acceleration. So we are the very first multi-corporate backed tech accelerator in Africa. And we have our good partners with us today. One of them is Telecel Group. And so they help with proof of concepts. They help really build networks for startups to accelerate their businesses faster and build sustainable business models. Because sometimes it's not really about becoming a unicorn. Sometimes you really need to build a model that lasts, and you have partnerships that will take you far. So that's what we do. Also happy to announce that our accelerator cohort 2 for the Telecel ASIP accelerator program is just opened, so if you want, you can see me or some of my team. You see people in the Startup Bootcamp AfriTech t-shirts. You're open to ask us all the questions you want. You can also apply to become a part of Startup Bootcamp AfriTech. We have a large portfolio of companies that we've worked with, about 40 of them. Some of them you might know, like Kuda Bank. We also have Akiba Digital, and we support a wide range of startups. If you want to know the verticals we operate in, everything is on our website, Startup Bootcamp AfriTech. So yeah, that's it from me.
All right, well done. Let's set that clock and get some questions from our judges.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So I'd like to find out how many investments do you make per year, and what are your typical investment size?
Okay, so when it comes to investments, we have a follow-on fund, but we do really connect our startups with viable investors. We have a large network, and so to give you a real number, it would be, we do run an accelerator for 10 startups. So the cohort has just 10 startups, and last year we had about 2,200 applicants, so it's very competitive. That's how we get the biggest and best, brightest. Yeah.
Thank you.
What does a startup, one of the 10 startups that you select, what do they get out of the accelerator other than mentorship?
Okay, so you get a benefits valued at over 750,000. So we have partners like AWS, Microsoft, Google, and you also get a stipend of about 18,000 for just being a part of the program.
Is that US dollars or?
18,000 US, it's 15,000 euros. Yeah.
Out of the 10 startups that go into the program,
Yeah.
how many successfully race around after they leave the accelerator?
A lot. Some actually raise during the program. So one of them is there. She had a speed round of about 500K. He recently closed. So we really do empower startups to raise and grow.
All right, wonderful. Ladies, you can edge the stage to the left. Everybody give them a big round of applause. Thank you so much. Judges, how did it feel to judge? They're smiling. You can't see it, but they're smiling like maniacs.
It's good to be on the other side.
It feels good to be on the other side, doesn't it? Investors, how did it feel to be on that side? I see they're sweating a bit. Oh, they liked it all the same. How'd you guys like to see that? Pretty fun, right? Or is it just me? It is pretty fun. You can clap for him. Thank you, buddy. Give him another big round of applause. Now, I've got some good news, and I got some bad news for you. Which you want to hear first? The bad? All right, we'll start with the bad. The bad is that concludes all of the pitches that we had in store for you at AfricArena 2021. Give a big round of applause for everybody who stood under the lights. Thank you. That's awesome. Again, that's one of the most fun and exciting things for me is sitting down with these startups one-on-one, looking them in the eyes and starting to hear how they're changing the world. Because it's literally, I know we say buzzwords all the time like impact and journey and storytelling and things like that. But really, when you see it actually happening, it is super exciting. I really can't contain myself. You guys can hop up. You are no longer needed. Thank you. You see, they loved it so much, they want to stay there forever. All right, brilliant. And we got
It's
the,
been
see, that's
changed.
the thing. We finished with the pitches, but we're not done yet, are we?
No, no, no. There's plenty more to come, and that's before we even tell you the results of the pitches. We've
No,
got
still
plenty
no
more to
results?
go. Still no results. No, no, no.
You gotta be
Still
kidding
no
me with
results.
that. Unbelievable.
Shall I tell them what's coming next, though?
Well, not if you're not going to tell the results, honestly.
We've got a little bit of a slightly longer wait before we get to the results. We've still got some entertainment lined up, but right now we are going to do another little discussion, a little panel talk. I'm truly excited because the man who is leading. The man who's leading this discussion, I will tell you, he's from Tunisia, and I had a fun chat with him a little bit earlier. Yes, he's not just any man from Tunisia. He's a very, very well-known radio and television host. In fact, such a good radio host that he's won the Best Radio Host title 2 years in a row. He's the man who speaks to all the heavy-hitter politicians. He's the man who speaks to all the big business leaders on his morning radio show. So we're very, very excited to have him over here. And This is the thing. He's going to, the topic is called Building Bridges Between Ecosystems. And here's a bit of an anecdotal, well, it's not anecdotal evidence, but it is anecdotal, is that back in the day, ecosystems was very much a word used in science. And he was one of the first people, in fact, possibly the first person, to use it in this context.
And the buzzword was born.
And the buzzword was born. He was the inventor of the buzzword. He birthed that buzzword. And so we're very, very excited to have him. He's been like a true catalyst in terms of what's been happening in our ecosystems. And so it's great that he's going to lead this and he's going to be our facilitator. Ladies and gentlemen, please make you feel welcome. It's Mr. Wasim Ben Larbi. Thank you very much, sir. Grab a seat. I'll introduce the rest of your panel. Joining him up on stage, we've got Now Fua coming up as well. Here he is. We've got Philip Kirakov and Evelyn Kinagu.
Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome our panel.
Wasim, I shall hand over to you, sir.
Thank
Please,
you.
round of applause for our panel as they kick off.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you. I would have said that I pay you to say that, but I cannot afford it since you're a very successful TV host also in South Africa. So give an applause for him and Nick, by the way. They have been doing a great job since we were here. Thank you. Thank you, Stuart. So I think this is one of the most important panels, not because I'm in it, but because I think we are all here. If we're here, if it's not about building bridges between ecosystems, what would it be? So who has ever, through your job, through what you're doing every day, contributed at a certain point, at a certain moment, in building bridges between ecosystems here? Raise your hands. You should all raise your hands. You're all... Being here is already about building bridges between ecosystems. So the panelists were introduced, but I'll do it again very quick. So to my left, Nao Fua from JICA. You all know JICA, the Japanese corporation, of course. And they're present in many African countries and doing a great job building bridges between ecosystems. We will know more about that. And at a certain point of his career, he was trying to connect human beings by launching a very famous app. It's to connect men and women. And like he said in a previous interview I've read on Google, it's a serious one. So
yeah, serious one. Yeah.
Comparing to other kind of apps. Okay, and then we have Evelyn Kangu. So Evelyn Kangu is from Zambia, and she's the CEO of Lupia, a Zambian fintech providing financial services for people and businesses, and I think finance is very important to connect ecosystems and to connect people. Money connects people. And last but not least, many of them I've seen you. I've had a hard time to talk to him before the panel because when I was talking to him, there was a queue of people that wanted to talk to him. So Philip Kirakov, he's the CEO of Startup Bootcamp, of course. You all know. Who doesn't know Startup Bootcamp? It's easier. Raise your hand. You don't know Startup Bootcamp. Okay, go out.
We'll find you. You soon will.
Tell you to go out, the Wi-Fi is better outside, so you can go Google it and come back. Okay, let's start our chat. So with a very simple question, we're talking about building bridges between ecosystems. Why do we need to build bridges between ecosystems? Do we really need to build bridges between ecosystems? Whoever feels free to start, maybe.
Yes, of course. There are many reasons, but I want to point out two. The one is a market size, and also second is localization. The market size, talking about market size, it depending on business model, but when as a continent, the population is huge and market size seems to be huge. But when you look at each countries, the market size is not big enough to scale. Then I'm using one of the indicator, the city population, not a country. The city population times purchasing power determines how much startup can scale in general. So using that calculation, when you look at each cities, most of the cities are not big enough, with the exception of Lagos, Cairo, Cape Town, maybe Nairobi. But Nairobi is still small. So the most of the startups in Nairobi, they need to expand. they have to expand to other regions to meet VC's requirement. Like their VC requires a lot. So that's one of the reasons the market is big enough, each market. Then second is the localization. Like since as you know, each country has a different business custom and also the regulation. So they need to find a good partner, or they need to find a good way to enter the market. So that's why we need to make bridges between those ecosystems. That's my just 2 points I want to say.
Philip, do we really need to build bridges between ecosystems?
Yeah, absolutely, because the reality is that everybody has their place to fill. They have a slot to fill. They have a role that they can specialize in. Any organization, I mean, even the famous definition of a startup is it's a temporary organization in search of a repeatable, scalable business model, which basically means that once they found a repeatable, scalable business model, they're no longer a startup. They're now a corporate, right? They're a big organization. And big corporates and big organizations, governments, have a role to play as well because they provide stability. They can make long-term investments. They have access. They have route to market. They have scale. But what they lack is the ability to be lean, and agile, and nimble. So you've got two different types of organizations that each play their role, but they don't play it well together. And so without a bridge between those, they never really overlap. We oftentimes to describe it in a way that in Corona times seems a little bit odd, but in the human body, your white blood cells are there to kill off infection and kill off anything that doesn't belong. In a corporate, what that looks like is a startup is something that is impacting your efficiency. It impacts your operations. It impacts your ability to do things at scale. And so they're actually, organizations will kill off innovation inside the organization. So unless there's a very specific structured process that enables those two things to play nicely together, they never succeed. So what Startup Bootcamp does is we find those corporate partners that have the desire, that have the passion, that have the genuine commitment to engaging with startups. And then we go out and we find the startups that are solving problems that are meaningful for those corporates, and we create these safe sandboxes where the two parties can get enough traction that the startup can demonstrate what they're doing, the corporate can see what they're doing, and they can see how they can benefit from each other's collaboration. And then from that point, things can work very well together. So it's absolutely essential because neither party can succeed without the other, but that bridging effect is the glue that brings it together. And without that, it's pointless.
Mm-hmm. Evelyn, I think it's crucial for you as an ambitious entrepreneur and with ambitions to expand to the southern African part and maybe more in the next years. So I think it's crucial for you to benefit from building bridges between ecosystems. Can you share your thoughts?
Right. I mean, speaking as a fintech startup, the biggest interaction of the two ecosystems is money and the people. So building the money ecosystem and the finance tech ecosystem is very important to us. A lot of interaction comes in with what sort of technology adoption the human ecosystem has made and the interaction they've made with that sort of technology. And so we come in to bridge as a financing entity and ensure that we can deliver a product to the individuals through that interaction. And so for a product like ours to work, it needs to be interacted by humans, and we need to be providing a service that can reach to them through that ecosystem of the human ecosystem through technology. And so this is what we've basically done, and we know that we can't tap into that ecosystem without an intermediary, it being a telco, it being a bank or an insurance corporation. And so it's very important for us to leverage every ecosystem and ensure that we can deliver our product.
Mm-hmm. So this is about, so do you think we need to build bridges between ecosystems? Yeah. Okay, yes. If anyone thinks no, I'll be very interested. Not really. Someone told me we do not necessarily need to build bridges. That's why I wanted to ask this question. Okay, so we move on with the discussion. So now that we know why we should probably build bridges between ecosystems, how we do that? How do we do that? Okay. So maybe you can give a specific example with what JICA is doing already.
What JICA is doing is, as I mentioned in the previous session, we have a Ninja project. That's JICA's initiative to enhance startup ecosystem. In that project, we do
incubation program and acceleration program. The key to bridge ecosystem is we have in the acceleration program, we are trying to support the startups to expand into other countries, and also we also facilitate the exchange of the information between the government and also between networking among the incubator, accelerator, so that networks works to support startup to expand into other countries. But that, for example, for startup in Kenya who wants to go to Uganda or Tanzania, we can introduce some government organization incubators or whoever support the startups. So that kind of networks, it works to making a new bridge among ecosystems.
So this is specifically what JICA is doing. So if we talk in general, the macro of building bridges, how do you see that, Philip? How do we build bridges today between these communities, between these ecosystems?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the process, we do it in a corporate startup collaboration space, but we also look at different stages of financing, connecting investors. So when we look at, investors, this is very important for startups to know here, investors hate taking risk, right? They want the sure thing. They want to put their money in, but they only want to know that it's really going to succeed. So one of the ways that we help startups to de-risk that process is by helping line them up with commercial contracts. So out of our program, in the first 3 years, out of the 30 startups, there was 62 different commercial contracts and engagements. So that's more than 2 per startup that participated in our program. And when you look at it from our portfolio, 88% of the startups that have come through our program are still operating today, but only half of those have needed follow-on funding. So fully 50% of the startups that are still operating are doing so on the basis of commercial success. So in that sense, we've bridged the gap between the startups and the route to market and the corporate partners, the enablers. But on the investor side, we've also bridged a very important gap in the sense that investors want to put their money in, but they don't want to be spending money when the startup is wasting it. So when the startup has a route to market that is an efficient and they've got a long-term, big contracts, then the investor feels more confident. And it de-risks that investment for them. So it actually ends up being very, and the one final piece on that is, on the corporate side, they're also afraid of saying, if we sign this contract with you, how do we know that you're still going to be around in 6 months? So you've actually got 3 parties. You've got the startup, the corporate, and the investors, but through this program, you're able to bring them all together in one, not one transaction, but in one conclusive arrangement that says, for the startup, they get the commercial contract and they get the funding. For the investors, they're funding a startup that already has contracts, and for the corporate, they're signing contracts with a startup that they know is going to be around for a long time because they're well funded. So when you can get all 3 of those things together, you've got this unbelievable magic effect happening.
How do we really do that? Because there are different steps. I think we could be building bridges into North Africa, but we could be building bridges between North Africa and the western part or the southern part. We could be building bridges between Europe and Africa. So how, from your point of view, of course, I know it's a difficult and journalist question, but how should we build it? How does it go?
It's actually a fantastic question, because we have the benefit of scouting the whole continent and beyond. So as Jocelyn had mentioned previously, we had over 2,200 applications for 10 spots to get into our program. So we have the beauty of seeing a lot of examples and many startups solving the same kinds of problems. So we can say, cool, here's a Nigerian startup solving the same problem, and here's a Zambian startup, and an Ethiopian startup, and a Senegalese startup. They're all solving the same problem, because a lot of these problems, transportation, how do we do payments, these are Pan-African problems, they're global problems. So when we can see the nuances of different startups from different places solving it, we have the ability really to see the ones that have truly risen above. And when we find that startup that's got that X factor, the startup that's doing something that's radically different, right, or radically better, then we help that startup to go across different geographies. And in many cases, it's, hey, you should go and partner with it, because here's a startup down here that's trying to solve that same problem, but they're not doing it very well, they're really struggling. You come and work together. So that collaborative effect of startups working in different geographies, but solving the same problem with nuanced approaches is something that has a fantastic knock-on effect.
Can we build bridges between ecosystems knowing that they do not have the same base? I mean, there are maybe some local ecosystems weaker than other ecosystems. For example, for instance, we would think about a unicorn from Nigeria in fintech, for example, that would go into the North African or Tunisia. Let's take it as an example. It could represent a threat for a local startup with a small market who did not get the same chances, the same money raised, etc. So building bridges at the end of the day, is it a threat or an opportunity?
It's very much, it's a very competitive world. And that's what makes startups particularly valuable, because they're able to do stuff. If they're not at the peak of solving problems and challenges for their customers, then they're not going to succeed. But what we definitely see is that there's big differences in how consumers respond, that the markets respond. So a startup, Kuda Bank in Nigeria is solving a fantastic problem, but as they start to expand out beyond, they have to really understand the local markets. And in many cases, a much smaller company that understands their customers really well can certainly hold their own and even succeed.
Evelyn, from an entrepreneur perspective, is it an opportunity or a threat? How do you see it?
It's both. Just because of the markets that we trade in. As an institution, we are tasked with bridging a gap of the financial gap for SMEs and individuals. And we are really targeting the low income individuals, the low income employees. And so with platforms like this, we can only build that gap by providing financing. But looking at a market where you can really collect or build proper credit score models to actually effectively target these individuals. But at the same time, there's a very big opportunity to solve a problem of access to capital, access to financing. And so it's become a bridge, or a bridge that we have to do or create, in the sense that can we effectively do it and de-risk that sort of ecosystem, and be sure to create a healthy financial system for these individuals, because what we've seen in the past and what tends to happen is that if we create a very healthy financial ecosystem with the targeted SMEs that we create, it gives us a long life span of business, and we are in business, and we are built on retention models, and so the healthier ecosystems we build, the healthier financial ecosystem we build with the SMEs gives us long-term value. So I think it's very important to do.
So today, what would you need as a startup, as an entrepreneur, as a startup that is expanding really fast, at least through your region, the southern part of Africa? What do you need? What are your needs today from building bridges?
Capital for sure. I mean, I think as we're looking to trend into the different markets.
So no bridge building without money, right? Right. That's
money is the key, right?
I mean, we know exactly what it is, and I think it boils down to capital still. And this is what we need, and this is the gap that needs to be bridged for us. But I mean, looking at it holistically, we need to really connect the women entrepreneurial ecosystem. This is who we've heavily targeted. And so the big headache is to ensure how can we create or get data points to effectively target this market, and that's the ecosystem we are trying to bridge. But yeah, I mean, if it's not finance, I think it's women, and that's where it sits for us.
Through Ninja, you told us about the Ninja program, but how do we build it at the end of the day? How do we build these bridges today between ecosystems, and about the threat or opportunity part? I think it's interesting because I saw you smiling through the answers.
No, my comment is like ecosystem can be enhanced. I think your question is like the ecosystem only collaboration, but competition is also important. So to enhance ecosystem, we need a competition and also collaboration, both ways. So sometimes we need to compete in terms of talent, capital, and goods. Like those collaboration is also important to bridge the ecosystem, and also to enhance the other ecosystem. Sometimes we have to intervene from other market. That's my comment. That's very important for the bridging ecosystem. Not only friendly, there can be a threat.
So, sorry, Katie, you know I'm very special about how I moderate my panels. So we have a Q&A session later, but I would like to take maybe 1 or 2 comments from the room because it's interesting. If there is one of you that has an idea about how we could build these bridges from an entrepreneur's perspective, yeah, we'll find a mic. We're not sure to have one hand raised, but yeah, there you go. Otherwise, I would have come like
Just
randomly.
While you're getting the mic, can I make one comment on this?
Sure.
Yeah, so I think another one of the very important bridges that we see that needs to be bridged is really the economic bridge between the poverty, the very low income, and the emerging middle class.
Yeah.
One of our startups is working on exactly that. They're Grocity from Nigeria. The challenge they're tackling is that the individuals at the lowest income brackets pay 20 to 25% more for the same groceries that than we do, because they're buying in small packet sizes, because there's more inefficiency. So what they're able to do is allow people to make multiple payments over the course of a month in order to build up buy a basket of goods, but at wholesale prices. And that means that they can buy goods at 20% or 25% less than what they would be paying if they walked into a retail store. And so that's a really important one that we see, is that upliftment and not just addressing just that basic financial inclusivity is an absolutely essential foundation for the future of this continent.
Okay, so yeah, there you go.
My question is to Philip.
Later it would be Q&A. It's a comment, if you have a comment. If you were like kind of a panelist, it's a comment about how to build it. Yeah, there you go. If it's not, give the mic. Thank you.
So Philip mentioned earlier a fact that some of the Africans, for example, if a Nigerian African startup wants to expand to other African countries, they have to adapt somehow their product in order to fit the market they are expecting to. So I think it would be great maybe to have like a platform where we gather insights on each market of each African country. Where we can, for example, if I have Tunisian a startup and I want to expand to Nigeria, for example, I go to this platform where I can find all the insights on the Nigerian market, how to invest, the data on the sectors.
So data is important.
Data is very important.
Money
so
and
if
data.
you have all of this on one platform, and then I think it would make it easier for African startups to. It would be something really great.
Good idea for a startup.
And we could call it Expa Africa, expand in Africa, for example.
There was this woman, Katie. There was this woman right in front of you. Okay, sure. Yeah. It's a startup bootcamp moderation.
Thank you very much. So I had a question, but I turned it into a comment.
No.
Thank you, Wasim.
Not a question, not a question.
And I love you. You are wonderful.
You have a question? Or?
No, I have a comment.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Thank you. So
you Googled startup bootcamp or not yet?
Well, I try. Well, actually, I know Philip for a very long time, and I know it. I was just kidding. So my comment, if you let me.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So you admirably commented about the bridges to do between the corporates and the startups, and then later on, a bigger one, which is the one between poverty and let's say wealthier environments. My comment will be that there is a challenge, a very good one that we might be willing to tackle, is the bridge between the planet and its inhabitants. How do we do to keep on living on this planet while preserving it? And I invite everyone, me included, to think about that.
Thank you for sharing that.
Can I
okay, we'll take the last one, and then
go ahead, Philippe.
we'll take the last one. Last comment. You know why I've done this, Katie? So I mix up your papers. You're 10 minutes left, 5 minutes left. Now you don't have them anymore. You don't know how much time is left.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Hossein. I agree with my dearest sister here. Data is very important, but also the issue of disaggregated data. and that we always find in member states when we're talking about SMMEs because they're not stratified. What defines a micro? What defines a medium? What defines a small business? So that the intervention will speak to the level of a micro, of a small, and a medium. That on its own is disaggregated data that must be resolved so that when you're talking about resolving these challenges and working, across west and east and south of the continent, we'll be able to actually have the right instruments. Like what the World Bank always says, my dearest sister is sitting here. Thank you very much.
Excellent, excellent comments. We're three of them. We have 4 minutes, I think, before going to Q&A, so this will let us these few minutes to interact with what you heard. We can start with you, Philip.
Oh, we have 5 minutes. You have an extra minute.
Perfect.
So first of all, on the question about I'll come back to the planet question because that's one that's super near and dear to my heart. At least in South Africa, there's an amazing initiative being led by Simudisa on the Startup Act, and a very specific part of that is defining the striations. That an SME is very different than a startup, is very different than an SMB, so those are, and survivalist businesses, and all of those need different tools. So that effort is underway. The government of Senegal, we're working very closely with them, and we've seen amazing work from their side as well. So I know that those initiatives are, and I believe in Tunisia was the very first country on the continent to have a startup act, and the 2.0 version is starting to try and refine some of those definitions. With respect to connecting the biggest impact that any individual can have, every individual in this room can have with respect to connecting us with the future of the planet is a plant-based diet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So hands down, number one thing you can do to look at the future of the planet is stop eating meat. And I won't go into the whole spiel about that, but do the research, look after the future, and any startups that are in that kind of sustainability space or alternate protein space or supply chain, all of that kind of stuff that makes an impact are very, very near and dear to our heart.
Mm-hmm. The platform command could be a JICA program.
Oh, the platform. JICA is like when some startup who wants to expand to other countries, we providing a platform. We have JICA has 28 offices in Africa. Each office has the network with government and each stakeholder, incubators, accelerators, startups, and universities. We have many projects in education and so on and so forth, like agriculture and everything. So we can provide a platform for startups to expand into other countries, but we are not very expert on startup stage. So maybe Philip can be our partner when startup wants to expand who wants to expand into South Africa or other regions. Yep.
Nice initiative is born. Thank you, France. She should be doing it. They
Yeah,
are
bridge.
expertise
This
France.
is also,
You just gave your idea to the Japanese, and they're doing it in Startup
We
Bootcamp.
just made a bridge.
We're building a bridge right now.
I love that. I always introduce myself as, they told me, what do you do? I'm into construction, construction field. So, let's finish with your comment before going back for some Q&As.
Right. So just us not really being an expert in the ecosystem, but I suppose on the small financing ecosystem, just basically how there needs to be a lot of bridge support for women. I'm such an advocate. I try to build as much technology and tech for women and just creating that inclusivity. And so, yeah, let's support women and let's see how we can bridge a gap for women.
Mm-hmm. Philip, Philip, is it romantic to think about having an African Startup Act?
So, I mean, look, the reality.
So we can have a same legal framework together, beside of the other legal frameworks independent of each country, have one for startups for Africa. This could connect Africa.
Look, every country is different, and they're all going to have, there are some regional initiatives, but there are a couple of super important things. If we could address just the border, and this isn't even the Startup Act, but if we could just take out all the visas, I mean, so I travel on an American passport.
Like a startup visa.
And it is infinitely easier for me to travel around to African startups or African countries than it is for our startups. As an African traveling in Africa is super hard. As an American or European traveling in Africa, it's super easy, right? So like that alone, just addressing the visa issue would already have a huge impact. You know, in this country, the South African government doesn't want foreigners to come in, even if they're entrepreneurs and building great companies that add jobs. That, you know, because there's a whole legacy around that. So, you know, getting over each country's specific, you know, restrictions and challenges and backgrounds is it's going to be hard. But if we did nothing else and just address the visa issue, we would already be way ahead from a startup portability standpoint.
For example, you said Tunisia about Startup Act, and we finish with this. The legal frame, the Startup Act legal frame is different from the complicated legal frame for the other type of businesses. And I've seen in Senegal, it looks like what has been done in Tunisia. South Africa is going on the same path. So I thought we probably found a path to find a common ground, a parallel one with a specific legal African framework.
There is actually a
Maybe
lot
there's
of
something to do.
there's a lot of collaboration between those initiatives. I4Policy is working with, I mean, I know all of the countries that are working on this stuff are talking to each other. But the specific implementation in each country we're a long way off from having a common, truly common framework.
So, Q&A. Okay, go.
Quick question to Philippe. When you say corporate are building bridge, trying to building bridge with startups, does the corporate comes to you or startups goes to corporate? How it function? Does the corporate tell their needs and then the startup will answer, or the startup will answer and then the corporate will choose?
Do you want to answer or take a few questions and then?
I'm happy to answer.
Okay, go ahead. Next, so we can. Yeah, go ahead. So they can move.
Sure. So, yeah, I mean, so Telecel is a perfect example. So Eleanor is one of the top executives at Telecel Group. You know, they operate in 22 countries in Africa, and the initiative from the CEO and the chairman all the way down is we have to be dealing with startups better. The first cohort we went through, and truthfully, and she would tell you this, it was a struggle. We would bring them startups, and they were like, this is great, we really want to work with them, we don't know how, we don't know, and it's just even finding within their organizational structure, who is the right person? Does that person have a budget? Do they have a mandate? Do they have the right client? So it's taken us, you know, the whole first cohort was really almost kind of teething to help them figure out how to do this. But as we got through that process, now it's going much, much smoother. And so they have dedicated people inside the organization whose sole job is to take these startups that we're scouting for, take them to the right person in the right company, at the right division in the right country, and say, cool, here's what you're trying to do. We have access to a market here. Let's bring you in. Let's run a pilot for 100 customers, 1,000 customers. Let's prove that it works. Then we can go to 10,000 customers, and then we can expand out to 1 million or more customers. So that process takes time, but once they get it right, it's like a flywheel. They start to get more and more converts inside the organization that see the excitement of what it's doing for the business and how it's starting to really generate revenue. And then from that point, it's like the floodgates come open.
Go ahead.
This is less of a question and more of a comment. So I want to just pick up on what you've all kind of said to a point around, it's not, to me, the biggest thing and the most important thing here is collaboration and working together and partnerships and that network, Philip, that is so important. And I think, like you say, so often in the big, the single country America thinks Africa is, kind of thing. And you take that, but then, as you say, Philip, and everyone has said, there's multiple companies across the continent doing a similar thing. And I think my bigger point to it all is that we don't need to reinvent the wheel. If we all work together, we don't have to have 700 of these kind of events. We can all work on one, make it huge, bring the network together. Whether that is AfricArena or not, that doesn't matter. The point is, as an ecosystem, let's work together to build Africa. And that's just my comment.
Thank you. There you go. And then the gentleman in the back. Go.
just related to the last point Philip mentioned regarding the visa issue. And unfortunately, in the two titans in Africa, Nigeria and South Africa are very notorious when it comes to visa issue. I remember we all know Dangote, the richest African. One time he was narrating that whenever he comes to South Africa, his aide, who holds American passport, will go through the just past immigration, while he will be there struggling to get through. So my question, maybe I would say, do you think maybe the ecosystem can really play a part in influencing this, maybe to make this visa issue less? Because I think yesterday some of the tech ecosystem players in South Africa mentioned that they were with the president, the South African president. So normally if we do have this engagement, I know in Nigeria too, the ecosystem players often have access to the president. So do you think maybe we can do something through those, get them to know that, look, this visa issue is very important because startup movement is going to change Africa, definitely. The more jobs we're looking for, they are the ones to provide them. So visa is restricting that. Do you think we can do something maybe through the tech ecosystem to help that? Thank you.
Look, it's, in my opinion, I mean, it's really about progressive governments, right? So we are very fortunate to have the Senegalese government as one of the backers of our program. And they followed, you know, in the footsteps of Tunisia in setting this thing up, but they also are really taking it and pushing it forward as well. But they're doing amazing other stuff in addition to the visa issue. They've set up their own VC fund. They're now setting up, they've actually brought and set up like a co-working space in the Ministry of Entrepreneurship. They've set up a co-working space. So countries like that blow open the visa, you know, regime and say, look, you know, we encourage, we're actively attracting startups in. They're going to be at the forefront, and that gap between those countries and the ones that have much more restrictive, you know, provisions will just continue to expand. So, I mean, because I live here in South Africa, I very much hope we're optimistic about the Startup Act, you know, getting traction, but the visa part of that is definitely going to be a tough sell here in this country, and all we can do is just kind of keep trying to nudge it forward and see, you know, see where we can work. So.
Last question, sir.
Yes. So with regards to the ecosystem, right? I think there's one thing that we need to recognize is that not all parts of the ecosystem are beneficial to the ecosystem, right? I say this because we've also been through an incubator which really didn't benefit us, but that was like 12 months of work down the drain that we could have perhaps invested in a different incubator or accelerator. So how would an accelerator like that, which obviously is well-meaning, be able to be assisted by the larger ecosystem as a whole, so that people don't waste time with people that are well-meaning but are not really making a dent in terms of the growth of the startup? Because if you come in, you don't really know what you don't know as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. This was more of a comment. So we still have, I think, 2 minutes. There was another question, right? Okay, and another one again. You got one more question? 1 more minute? Okay. Did you count your two?
One question.
Did you count your 2-minute comment? So you have to do it quick.
Okay. With all the Startup Act, Tunisia, South Africa, and Senegal, what about the sustainability of the funding, being it government money, debt to GDP levels and things like that? I just want to hear what are your thoughts about the sustainability of it going forward 50 years, 100 years?
Okay. Can we make it travel quickly so we answer once? Okay. Go ahead.
Hi there. So
really quick.
Yes. So just to add on to my partner's question, I just want to ask, is there a regulatory body for...
I cannot hear you.
Is there a regulatory body for accelerators and so forth, like a governing body or something like that? Because we, as he said, we joined an accelerator and we basically wasted our time and they didn't do anything for us. So is there like plans to make a regulatory body or something to regulate accelerators and make sure they actually are delivering value and so forth? I just want to know.
I'm not sure I got that.
Yeah, no, he was, he was
so
asking.
Perfect. We need the mic here, and then we'll we'll answer all of it. Otherwise, Katie will stop us. Here, right? You asked. Yeah, go ahead.
Mohammed from Sudan. Difficult for us to get visas, and we are late. Came yesterday because of visa issue. So I have an idea. Next event must be in African countries, get counter visa, like Rwanda or Tanzania.
Okay.
Also, African unions or organizations like this can help on this issue. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll do, each one of you will have a minute to answer, or if you have any comment you would like to add, any takeaway from this panel about building bridges, we can start with you and with you.
I think the visa issue point is very interesting, and as a tourist, I think there is an East African visa, right? I want to expand those initiatives to the other ecosystem as well, like West African visa or South African visa or entire visa. That's my comment.
And any takeaway from this panel, if there's an idea you would like to add?
Oh, it's a difficult point.
Oh, okay. Evelyn.
I mean, not to comment much on the visa issue, but I can tell that there's a lot of traction happening between countries. The free trade agreement just happened. Yeah. Even though in my country, half the time you ask government officials, they are clueless. But I mean, so there is traction that's happening, and I can see that eventually visas will get there. Southern Africa, we can walk in and out of each other's countries without visas. So I just dashed in and out of Cape Town, and yeah, so that's happening.
I think the real quick, there's not a governing body for accelerators, but there is an initiative that AfricArena has really championed called the Digital Collective Africa. It was presented yesterday, and there's a feedback process that's being set up so that there is a directory of all of the players in the ecosystem with mechanisms for not so much ratings per se, but at least a standardized comparison. So who puts in equity, how much do they take, those types of things, so that you can actually see kind of apples to apples comparison, and that the intention is to help startups choose what are the right programs for them. Local programs versus international programs, equity-based versus non-equity-based, investment versus non, all that kind of stuff. So that could be one, if you go onto the DCA website. The final comment I'll make, and I think the takeaway from me is that one of our core mantras is, our programs are designed to build success for Africans and by Africans. You've seen the number of the people from our team here, but we're super excited to really be able to operate and offer a world-class accelerator program run entirely by Africans. And Ashone was our most recent hire out of Nigeria, but here's an unbelievable entrepreneur, 2 startups, 2 exits. The most recent one was to Flutterwave, so significant credentials, and now he's joining as our founder in residence to be able to build that bridge to the next generation of extraordinary African founders. So, my greatest legacy is to be able to kind of be out of the picture, right? To be behind the scenes and no one knows, because we've enabled this thing. And that to me is really the bridge between, my background, which is Silicon Valley and US, based opportunities, and enabling that same kind of leveling that same playing field for African-based founders. So that's really where we're hoping to lead things.
Thank you, Nao, Evelyn, Philip, thank you.
Amazing.
Right, big round of applause, please.
There we go. Thank you very much, guys. Can we get one more round of applause for our esteemed panel? Thank you so much, Wasim, for leading us over there. Now, Evelyn and Philip, we really appreciate it. Guys, do not leave. We are literally about to tell you who the winners are. We are about to do that right now.
I'm so excited. I actually have them in my pocket. I didn't look yet. I promise.
There's just 1 or 2 things that we just need to verify, which we are about to do. And while that happens, we've got some awesome entertainment. So do not leave the room because it's freezing cold outside. That's one reason to not leave. But also, the moment that we've verified everything, we are in fact going to move on to the awards. So right now, Wow, I thought it was a wireless DJ booth. I was like, wow, that's very impressive. It's a wireless DJ booth. But it's apparently not. It's got wires and they're busy plugging it in. Very exciting, guys. Very exciting.
Do you know what the music is going to be?
I have no idea what the music is going to be.
I am so professional because when they told me earlier, I kept it in mind. So when I stepped off the stage, I totally didn't go have to verify that information. We're about to hear a concert and a bit of music from, well, I'm not going to rev you up too much because I don't want to like have the applause happen. How close are we to go time? Should I tell a couple jokes?
You should.
Oh, Jesus. He said yes. It's not my fault.
Do
It's
it.
not my
Do
fault.
it.
No, but I will say that, listen, over the last few days, we've had some really cool content that is, one, panel discussions with practical knowledge that we can philosophize and we can talk about things that we can put into place tomorrow. And the real goal of that is that we can all sort of like integrate, assimilate, and share that knowledge with people sitting next to us in this room, people we'll go to work with next week, and sort of just spread it around to share that wealth. Right? We hear about these startups and the people who are really like, we might all go back to our day jobs tomorrow and next week, but these guys, that is their job, and they're going to be at it until, as I said the other day, they're cold, dead hands. I know that if you told me my business would never be a success, I'd be like, prove it, okay? Because I'm gonna be at it until I see on the number sheet I'm in the red and I cannot do it anymore, right? So that's the kind of ambition, that's the kind of drive that all these startups have in the room, and I'm super happy and proud to be a part of it. Can we get another round of applause for those dedicated working people? Thank you. All right, I just got you're lucky, I was about to tell a joke, but you're gonna hear from DeVille, which is Afro House with a bit of violin. Ooh.
Pounding on my heart like a kick drum beat. Blowing through my mind like a melody. And it tastes like honey on my lips, so sweet. Yeah, you're the only one who brings me to my knees.
slump. Transport my bus stop. Lord have mercy. This is titling gun. Screenshot the gunshot. Screenshot the gunshot.
Hello, baby. Get on the jet and now we're going to be in your saba. Uso kumbiza hongo, do when I jet now.
All right, if you can't hear me at any... Can you hear me? You can hear me. Wow, that's crazy. I couldn't hear me. That was amazing. Well done, DeVille. Yeah, that's when you would clap. Yeah, all right, there you go. And get used to that, because in the next few minutes, you're going to be clapping a lot. How are you feeling, Stuart?
I feel amazing. I feel like I'm buzzing. No, that may just be this sound over here. So maybe we can... I'm going to do some DJing as well. Do you know what is weird? Is that my son plays the violin, and he wants to be a DJ.
Fantastic. Put him in touch
Basically, he's going to put you out of business. So he'll be half the price. So I'm just serious. So, right here, shall we begin?
I think we should. We got a lot of things to say.
We do have a lot of things to say. And before we hand out any of the awards, I think it's only right that we welcome the man of the hour. We've been calling them the man of the hour and the captain of our ship all day long. And I think it's only right that we get him up on stage, perhaps to start off with something, but certainly we need him to help us out with the awards. So ladies and gentlemen, with lots of applause. In fact, do you mind if I do my little test to see that they're wide awake and ready to welcome? Because last time you weren't quite.
All right, go ahead.
So here we go. It goes like this. Guys, I want all of you to take one hand, hold it out in front of you like this. All of you out in front of you like this. Spread your fingers, nice and wide, nice and wide. Take your first finger, place it against your thumb, make a nice round circle. You've got a round circle over there. Now take the round circle, you place it on your chin, right? And then, yeah, the chin is the bottom one here, guys. There's someone at the back sitting like this. I'm just saying, it's ridiculous.
You're really good at that.
Thank you. That's the second one we fooled you with. So, ladies and gentlemen, he is in fact the man you know, the man you love, the CEO of AfricArena. Please, a round of applause, Mr. Christophe Venor.
Welcome to the stage, a big man of the hour. But before we hear words from Christophe, did we talk a lot about ecosystems in this room, right? Do you know an ecosystem that we didn't talk about? The AfricArena ecosystem. Because it's not just done by one man, it's not just done by this smiling face, it's actually a whole huge team of people that don't just work this week, they work months and so much time in advance to put this all together. I'm going to start listing them and you're going to just give them all the applause you can, right? Thank the technical team, thank the catering, you applaud, thank the hosts and all the people moving stuff around. Such a great job. Thank Katie, thank the startups, thank the corporate sponsors, thank our government help, thank everybody involved, everybody who bought a ticket, bought a plane ticket, flew to the room. You guys clapping, keep clapping for yourselves. Thank Stuart, thank myself, thank our DJs, our musical guests. You see, I could go on and on. Thank you so much for everybody for being a part of it. It doesn't happen alone. Christophe?
Jeez, I think your voice anyway is you're done, right? So first of all, I'd like to thank Nick for his amazing staging of the pitches and contribution to the moderation. And of course, Stuart, you know, I think they've been a great duo of comedians. I think the one is better at jokes though, but we'll talk about it next year. But yeah, as you said, I mean, this is a small team that has been struggling for the last 2 years. But credit to them, so I'd just like to call Katie Finlay on stage. She's our head of content and is doing an amazing job. So Katie, been working on the AfricArena Summit for the 5th time. And an amazing woman, an inspiration for me. And yeah, this has been a great partnership, Katie. Bintu, our Chief Operating Officer, she's still in the room or trying to prepare the next. Yes, Bintu, who's been organizing the last 2 summits. And this one. Thank you, Bintu. Emma has been dealing with all the startups and working on all the challenges, and incredible. She's arrived as an intern in a team, and she's been to Nairobi, she's been to Tunis, and now she's put this together. Really, I mean, I think the startups, they're going to miss you, right? I think they're going to come back to see you again. Then we have Henry. I don't know if he can get off his computer somewhere there, or if he's already preparing tomorrow's event, because we have another event tomorrow. But Henry has been our techie and is organizing all the streaming. This event has been streaming on LinkedIn, YouTube, on AfricArena Wired, on AfricArena.com. We have an audience of over 2,000 people who've been watching this event for the last 2 days, so much more than we have in this room. That's thanks to this man. So thanks, Henry, for this. And then our storyteller, Crosby, who is somewhere with a funny jacket. I think he's busy writing the press release. He's working on amplification of your stories. We've had a lot of media here. We're going to be published in Les Echos on Friday. We have Forbes writing articles and a number of media that many of you have been able to get interview from. So that is great. Thank you, Crosby. And then, of course, the technical team. I'd like to thank All Biscuit Meal. So Patrick on the technical team side supporting this event. Nicolas, who's been a young designer, program manager, who's put together the flow out there. Amazing job. Small businesses, local businesses that we've been trying to support through this event that we've put together this year. So thank you to the team. And Marianne, who's been the hospitality chief, organizing our dinners and parties and events and making sure everybody had a room, had a transport, and supporting that. So yeah, thank you, Marianne. So I think I must have forgotten a few people, but here's Crosby. Yeah. When we call you on stage, you're not here, buddy.
Hey.
Come on here. So, that being said, again, we'd like to thank our partners and sponsors who've been supporting the event. And I'd like to call Henry Zitzman on stage, who is head of the Amazon Web Services Startup Support. And he's got a special announcement to make. So, again, this is one of these partnerships that has been growing year after year. And as I was saying at the intro of this event, we've granted to date, together with Amazon, about $1.2 million in AWS credit since 2017. As you know, every startup participating in the program getting $10,000 AWS credit and $5,000 business support. This is something very useful that most of the startups have been using and building their tech and scaling from that. But there's one more thing, right? You want to say that you're ready to go to the next level, Henry?
So firstly, I just want to say thank you everybody for flying in as far as from Tunis. That is amazing. It's fantastic stuff. So yes, I look after startup programs. I'm going to cut it really short. More than 15 years, startups been building on AWS. Startups from all over Africa. Startups like Flutterwave, Paystack, Luno, Number 6 Crypto Exchange, globally Airbnb. I get excited at these events because they are bringing the ecosystem fully together. I don't know if you've seen the startup ecosystem canvas. It shows you that all pieces have to work together. So this year, one thing I've noticed is there's a lot of startups that's already been in accelerators. So they have been given $10,000 for 2 years before, plus tech support by AWS through AfricArena, right? But now the new commodity is data, machine learning, analytics. And to do that, you definitely need more credits. So this year, happy to announce $25,000 over 2 years, plus tech support. And please, just ping me, and we're going to start looking at all the other PRs and value that we can bring to you as well, like technical due diligence for your investor. And don't worry, if you have an investor that you got through this event, like many other founders have done before, that investor can offer you $100,000 over a year to build models, to train models, but also to find the hypothesis, which is your market, your customer, working backwards from that. So, congratulations. Woo! Awesome.
Amazing.
So if I do the math, Henry, that means that today we're going to be awarding to these 50-odd startups something like $1.3 million, right? Well, this is great news, and I'm sure they're going to be building on AWS their next platform.
Lovely. Thank you so much. One more round of applause over there for Henry. Mr. Zitzman. Let us begin, ladies and gentlemen. We have got 10 awards we need to get through. Christoph, we can ask you to join Nick on that side of the stage. You can join us on stage as well. And we're going to start off with the Saint-Gobain Challenge. That is the first award. And so to hand out the award, this Saint-Gobain Challenge Award, I want to ask Damien to please come to the stage. Please, round of applause for Mr. Damien Perilong. We're going to ask, sir, would you like to say a few words? Yep. Yes. No.
I think just to say to the finalists that they've done a great job yesterday. We have quite interesting startups, and anyway, we'll invite them for a longer pitch to have more time to discuss with them what we can do together. So, but well done to all. And obviously there is one winner. So
Lovely.
let's announce it.
Awesome, awesome. Let us find out who that one winner is in the Saint-Germain Challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause. Our first winner today. It's from the startup SafePay. Yes, Sam Degwa from Kenya.
Sir.
Well done, Sam. We're going to head over there.
Well, I'm excited, definitely excited. Thank you very much, Sangoba, for sponsoring us, AfricArena for a fantastic event, and for all the participants. I think they all did very well, and I look forward to further engagement. Thank you all. Thank you.
Awesome. The winner of the Saint-Germain Challenge.
All right. Ooh, I'm so excited.
Lovely. You guys can step off stage for just a moment. We will be getting you back at the end, so please don't disappear, because at the end, we'd like to get a photo of all of our winners. Let's move on. Our second category. This award was the Vivatech Challenge. So let me ask Guillaume Marichal from Vivatech to join us over here. Big round of applause for Guillaume. Would you like to say a few words, sir?
First of all, thanks to all these amazing startups over the 2 days, because it was very inspiring to see all the energy that is coming in the upcoming years. So thank you for that. On behalf of AfricArena and Vivatech, as well as all the team, we are very excited to keep working with AfricArena on this long-term partnership. 2021 edition has been a blast. Very nice meeting you all, so I'm thrilled to wait for the winners, which of course will be invited to Vivatech and discover all the vibe and business opportunities, networking, VCs, and so on.
What an awesome opportunity. Thank you very much. And the winner of that Vivatech Challenge was Reslocate. Yes, Lucas Moshawa, CEO of Reslocate. Lucas, do you want to say a few words for us, please?
Firstly, I'd like to thank you for organizing this wonderful event and for giving us opportunity. We are really humbled. And then I'd like to thank everyone who's been with us for the past few days. It's been insightful, you know, meeting other startups as well. We've learned a lot from them. And for my co-founders in Gauteng, Johannesburg, I say this is for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You guys can step off to the side of the stage. Thank you very much. Well done. Well done, Lucas. Moving on to award number 3. This is the French Tech for Good Challenge. And to hand out this award, I'm going to ask the representative of French Tech Joburg and Cape Town to come to the stage. So please, Emma Chouvanc, here she is, coming up.
Hi everyone. So I think the French Tech has been a partner for AfricArena. Actually, Christophe is not only CEO from AfricArena, he's also chairman of the French Tech Cape Town Joburg. So we're very glad to have each year a challenge here to promote the French ecosystem and South African startup as well. So let's get the winner.
Lovely. And on that note, the winner of the French Tech for Good Challenge was Ceromed Technologies. Woo! Yes, and Gavatus.
Wow, yeah, I wasn't expecting this. First time on stage pitching, and yeah, I mean, sure, it's unbelievable. Thank you so much. I think that, you know, as my colleagues have indicated, the last few days have been very insightful. We've learned a lot. You know, we've grown so much in terms of our mindset. So, you know, we're just excited and looking forward to the future. Yeah, thank you so much to everyone who organized this.
Well done, Anne. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Let us move on. And the next one, in fact, Christoph, I'll let you hand out over here because it is the FSET Labs Challenge. So is there anything you want to say about the FSET Labs Challenge? FSAT Labs.
I'm only a director of FSAT Labs. FSAT Lab is led by Andy Leka, who is right at the back, but as she explained on the first day, she has difficulty moving with the accident she has. So it was for her a real boot camp. I must say, well done, Andy Leka, for organizing this incredible boot camp we had on Sunday and on Monday. We had a fantastic dinner at Maker's Landing Sunday night. That one table with the 50 startups is a memory I will keep for a long time. So thank you very much for what you're doing at FSAT Labs. FSAT Labs is the early stage incubator located in Century City. It's now in its 8th season, and it's supported 45 startups to date. Many of them have gone to other programs like Grindstones and other incubators like Founders Factory. So, you know, it's really an important part of our ecosystem, doing a really hard work to support early stage entrepreneurs, particularly female entrepreneur and underprivileged entrepreneur, in partnership with the Small Enterprise Development Agency, the South African government, and Métis. So thank you very much, Andy Leka. And yeah, we had 3 startups from the current season pitching. And as you saw, you know, they're early stage, so some of them was a bit nerve-wracking for them to be on stage. And very proud of these guys because they're the least experienced, the least mature, but definitely are remarkable in terms of their endeavor. So please give the winner and all of them a very nice round of applause.
That winner is from Wood Flavor, Dirk van den Berg.
Hello. Okay, I think this is really an honor, and I especially want to thank Indeleka for making this possible, as well as Christoph. But most of all, I think I want to thank every startup here and every speaker as well, because it's completely shifted my perspective of what is possible. Thank you for the inspiration, and thank you for the award. Thanks so much.
Well done, Dirk. We move on to our 5th challenge award, and that is the Seed Startup of the Year. Yes, indeed. I'm going to ask from the International Trade Center for John Ndubarasa to come and join us. There he comes. Thank you very much, John.
Just like the speaker before me, I'd like to thank AfricArena for, I think this is our 3rd year partnering with them. And we've honestly never been disappointed. So to say thank you to Christoph and your wonderful team. As ITC, we've always been happy with, you know, the services that you're providing to the startups in the region. Yeah, I think my colleague Kathy already spoke about ITC, so I'll not waste any more of your time.
Short and sweet. I like that, John. That's amazing. So let us find out who that winner is in the Seed Startup of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, the Seed Startup of the Year is Asudaf. And yes, Suleiman Bing.
thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to AfricArena, Christophe, and your team. You're doing an incredible job. I was so not expecting this because I've seen so many inspiring founders and entrepreneurs, and we all know that this is a very difficult journey. So let's keep pushing and keep inspiring each other. Thank you.
All righty. Who's next?
Let's move on to Series A Startup of the Year. Henri, if you'll join us back up on stage. Henri Zitzman from Amazon Web Services. If you can come and join us back up on stage.
He's going to get a coffee. I knew it. I knew it. Henri!
Henri. We're going to pause for a second.
Sounds like a perfect opportunity for a joke. No, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna shall we move on to the next one and come back to him? I think so. So let's skip number 6 for just a second. Should I just announce? Okay, we'll announce. Series A Startup of the Year. Henri Zitzman is not here to hand it over, but I'm sure Christophe can do the honors. The winner is Jabu!
Come on down.
David Akinen!
All of my peers who were up here when we pitched were amazing. And this is an honor our startup shares with you guys because we all earned this together. But I think this is a much bigger honor for us to start putting Namibia on the map as a driver of tech and as a pusher in Southern Africa to be doing the right thing. And also the informal retail economy, which should stop being called informal and it should just be called the economy. So this is for our team. Thank you very much.
Well done, well done. Let's move on to award number 7. And this is the late stage startup of the year. I'm going to ask our representative from Specno to come to the front. And that is, of course, Daniel Novitskas. Daniel, are you here? Yes,
Coming
excellent.
right down.
Cool. Thank you so much, everybody. I figured let me just take 2 minutes to actually share a story specifically for the startups, seeing as that I'm also a startup. So in 2019, I was busy with my first venture. I was watching all of the other startups get on stage and just absolutely nail their pitch, and they were just so inspiring. But when I got on stage, it was my very first time holding a mic, and looking at all of the eyes look back at me, I just completely froze. I actually had to ask the crowd to give me a second to breathe and just, catch my breath. And I thought it was a complete flop afterwards. Almost nobody spoke to me, except for one person. One person actually ended up speaking to me afterwards. And a year later, we closed a round, thinking back to how we actually ended up closing that round. You know, you hear so many no's along the journey, or so many people who say they're interested, but, just come back at a later time. And when we connected the dots, that one person that we met at that event had connected us to somebody who connected us to somebody who ended up closing that round. And so what I want to say is that although you might not realize the connections that you've made at this event, the impact that these events can have on the ecosystem and the deal flow that they can have, they truly are an enabler of the ecosystem. And so I just want to say again, a big thank you to Christophe and team.
Great stuff. That's an awesome story, Daniel. Let us find out who that late stage startup of the year is for 2021. It is Conclusion Group, and yes, Timothy Nay.
Come on down.
Thank you very much, everyone, for having us, and especially
Christoph. Thank you so much for organizing this and inviting us both during the weekend and today. We really appreciate you pushing the ecosystem and being there for all of us to build this. So yeah, it's a true honor. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Timothy. We've got 3 more awards to go, ladies and gentlemen, and this next one is called the Emerging Entrepreneur of the Year. To hand out this award, I'm going to ask our representative from Double Feather to please join us on the stage. That is, of course, Yannick Gayama.
Well, there you go, guys.
Well, very honored to be here. Obviously, entrepreneurs are the reason why we do this, not only as an ecosystem contributor, I would say, through Project Ninja with JICA, but also as a VC, Double Feather Partners. So yeah, Christoph, again, already thanked you, but I wanted to shout out also Katie, Bintu, Emma, Nadine, for the amazing job behind the scenes. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now, let's find out who Yannick is handing that award over to. Ladies and gentlemen, the Emerging Entrepreneur of the Year for this year is from Zuri Health. It's Daisy. Easy how.
Daisy in the house, come on down. Taking the long way around. Keep that applause going. She's almost here. Well done, Daisy.
I'm lost for words. At Zuri Health, we're really honored and humbled to actually receive this award. To us, it has been a long journey, and for us to get here is by the grace of God. And we believe, because our dream is to actually break the barriers of digital healthcare in Africa, we are going to do this, we are going to change, and we are going to actually be one of the policymakers to strategize the frameworks around telemedicine in Africa. Thank you.
Great stuff, great stuff. Okay, let's move on to the most innovative startup of the year. And to hand out that award, I'm going to ask our representative from Westkro to join us, please. So, Sebekeri Koloi, if you are around, yes, here he is. Well done.
Thank you so much, Christoph. The AfricArena team, Sebekeri Koloi from Westkro, also Silicon Cape Director, and it's a really exciting, innovative category, and we're really excited to see all these startups here. The work that AfricArena has been doing for the past few years in the ecosystem is really appreciated, and from our side, we really, really welcome everybody, but yeah, we trust that it's been a fantastic few days to the award.
Awesome, thank you very much. Let us find out who that award winner is. Ladies and gentlemen, the most innovative startup of the year has been judged to go to 123 Tutors.
All right, come on down.
Joseph Nyamariwata.
Hard work, hard earned.
Come on up, Joseph. Yes.
This one is for all the students. This is for all the people that want to learn, that are struggling to find the right learning. And we're going to take this from South Africa to the rest of the world and Mars. All right, thank you so much.
Brilliant.
Well done.
Great stuff. This side over here, guys. Okay, I'm going to ask Daisy if you can join us back up on stage again. If you can maybe just hand over your award to someone. We're going to ask Daisy to join us back up on stage because Daisy's got an award to give away, and that is, of course, the Investor Pitch Award that you're going to hand over. You were looking very shocked there. So if you could give us a little bit of a chat about that if you need.
I think the pitch experience was very interesting, and just to put the investors again on the spot to understand what we go through when you're trying to pitch our business ideas to them was very interesting. And we understand that investors play a really big role in the growth and success of companies. So it's really an honor to actually award the best investors in this summit.
It's amazing. Shoe is on the other foot, and the person, I guess, who won that investor pitch. Ladies and gentlemen, it is from Naspers, Louise Stewart.
Come on down.
So as I said in my pitch, capital is the commodity, the value is with the entrepreneurs. And we're happy to be part of the journey enabling you to deliver on your vision and your growth. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you very much, Louise. You guys may stay. No, Louise, you're going to stay where you are because we want a photograph with absolutely everyone on stage. I'm going to ask everyone to please make their way onto the stage over here. All the winners, everyone who's handed over the awards as well, please to come to the stage. There are, in fact, 2 tiers, so you can feel free to stand up on the cubes as well.
Tall in the front, short in the back.
Yes, indeed. And as they take up their spaces, ladies and
A little
gentlemen.
bit of music, maybe, suit the ambiance.
I think so. As
There
we
it
say.
is. Here we are. Give a big round of applause. Look at all these smiling faces, all these hours they've worked, all this time they've spent, the emails they've sent. Give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We've got confetti that's coming.
We present you the winners for 2021, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, guys.
Open you up, get in your heart. I know you'll be my baby. You're in my dreams, you're in my mind. I know you've been my baby. You know what you got, you're in my soul. I know you'll be my baby. It is my hope, they'll never part. I hope you stay my baby. So
Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up the formalities over here for the 2021 summit. You can only leave once the confetti runs out, so we'll be here for another 4 minutes. 4 more minutes. No, I'm joking. Please, a round of applause as they go back to their seats.
Big round of applause.
Thank you, guys. Yes. Can we ask, as one final picture, can all the startups please come and join us up on stage?
All the startups.
All of the startups up on stage, please.
Everybody, come on down. Take your place on the podium.
I've seen the way you look at me. I know you've been my baby. Mentality.
Organize yourselves. We're going to try to take a picture here.
My baby. Don't lose it, I know. I see you there. I know you've seen my baby. Play monster. Just play those keys. I know you've seen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's pose for a nice, beautiful picture we can put in a Coach card. Ladies and gentlemen, it's picture time. There it is. Everybody get your selfies.